Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Speak On It podcast. I'm your host, Big Mike, back here after a long, crazy week in sports. And we are here to talk about all the movers and groovers, new faces in different places, or however that phrase goes. I don't know. Who cares? But I can't do it alone. You know, I got the team with me. The Mad Producer Podcast, Poppy, in the building.
Happy New Year! The League New Year reset. It is now the 2024-2025 NFL season. Heller. We love it. Football's back.
New beginnings, right?
New beginnings. The best part of my year.
It's the best part of your year.
Until something stupid happens, like Aaron Rodgers, the VP of fucking RFK, and he can't be the quarterback of the Jets.
That would be such a heel turn.
I hate that, man.
That would be such a heel turn.
And it would be me gloating about how I was right.
I don't even know if I would let you get up because no one saw this turn coming.
He would play a year. He only played 4 snaps, and then he just wouldn't come back. I'd be right.
Like, what is happening? I'm glad to see he dispelled the Sandy Hook rumor, though, because
he needed to.
You was about to be dead to me. He was about to be dead to me.
Listen, he's already dead to me, but he was about to
he's dead to you.
Career suicide.
He's holding on for dear life with me, holding on by a thread, but he would have been dead to me. That would have been it. But nevertheless, me and Dylan can go on a rant all day about Aaron. Let's bring in the rest of our panel. He's back, the other half of Sunday Night Barreto, the Sand Viper. Steven is in the building.
That would be the most Jet thing to happen was Aaron Rodgers would be nominated as RFK's vice president. And that's what he said, only the Jets. Stuff only happens to the Jets.
But think about this. How many teams could say that they had Flash Gordon as their quarterback and the vice president candidate?
Like, it's some wild Jet stuff. Like, that would really make Jet things a thing.
Listen, they are Jet things are a thing, right? Like, the way we lose and the way things happen, the most Jet thing of all time. Aaron Rodgers not playing football for the Jets to be a vice presidential candidate, and it has to be on the campaign trail to miss all of training camp and all of these things to go be.
You'd have to put the suicide hotline on the screen right now because there's going to be a lot of suicides being committed.
Bump all that. Can you imagine the debates? Oh, Jet fans heckling him while he's trying to talk to Kamala Harris.
It would just be Aaron saying, look it up, do your research.
Do your research. Come on, do your research. You don't know anything. Do your research. I just have an alternate view of things. You should open your mind up. That's all.
Thanks, Aaron. Can you go play fucking football now?
How would you solve the crisis in Israel? You just got to open your mind, man. Peace and love. Just
ayahuasca. Darkness retreats.
Lock them up and watch what happens.
Throw vaccines away. Immunity.
Oh.
I'm getting fucking heartburn thinking about it.
Well, let's again, we could go all day with this. Let's bring in the last member of our panel tonight. He's back. It's been, I don't know, he's had an interesting offseason already. He has a new quarterback. We'll talk about that. Anthony is in the building.
Dude, almost thought I had the night off for a second. 4 minutes in, Mike. Dude. Sitting there waiting in the back, it's like.
Fun fact: Anthony and I all Gatorade bet because he is just insistent that T. Higgins is going to be a Raider.
I mean, they just signed a quarterback.
Have the money.
They signed a quarterback for a bag of chips, so maybe they can make it work.
You cannot have 2 high-end wide receiver salaries.
And I don't think you're right about the $39 million. I think we have like $46 million in cap space, if I'm not mistaken. I have to double check on that.
Think about draft picks. You spent fucking $1 billion on a defensive tackle.
That's going to throw a wrench. That's going to throw a wrench, but. How much realistically is T. Higgins going to command? I mean, realistically.
Well, let's get into it. Fuck it. let's get into it.
Well, you know what? I will say this personally. You're probably going to end up winning this bet because then you look at what's his name on the Titans who just signed for the
That's
Titans.
what I was about to say. Since you want to do it, let's go into it.
We're just going right to the Titans here.
Go right into
if he gets that, if Ridley gets that kind of contract, then yeah, T. Higgins
is going to get probably like $26 million a year.
Yeah, 26 to 28.
If you're going to pay fucking Calvin Ridley, like what is it? Like
who turns 30 at the end of this year.
$23.5 million a year. T. Higgins is like, I'm better than him.
Mm-hmm.
He is better than him.
So, this is the Titans would rather pay.
But you know what? Honestly, I don't think it's by that much because Calvin Ridley is a good receiver.
It wouldn't be that much more than Ridley, but he would get more than Ridley.
Yeah,
wouldn't be that much.
Because Ridley still put up 1,000 yards last year.
Yes, I'm very happy about this signing. I'm very happy.
And Ridley would have put up like 13 to 1,400 if he didn't drop a bunch of balls too. So
that makes me nervous. But
well, Lawrence wasn't exactly playing lights out either.
A highlight tape of some of his drops last year.
A bunch of drops. Trevor Lawrence was giving him dimes.
Trevor hit him in the hands a lot, and he wasn't able to bring him in.
He benefited when Christian Kirk was there, and every time Christian Kirk was out, he struggled.
That just shows he's a number 2.
And that's why we...
Yeah, but he's a number 2.
Yeah, exactly. That just shows he's number 2, and you have DeAndre Hopkins as your number 1.
We have the top, so...
The Titans now, I think me personally, I think the Titans won free agency.
See, I'm not ready to go there yet.
Mike's not ready to go there. I
over the Bears?
Yes, the Bears really didn't. They overpaid for DeAndre Swift, and they really didn't do anything. So yeah,
they didn't do anything. How many signings did the Bears have?
They went. We'll get there, but Kevin Byard's old and doesn't do that thing anymore. Where he's No, I don't hate safeties. They're just the least valuable players, and they were better ones. They could have waited 2 days and got a better one. That's the problem. They could have waited a few days.
I don't know. I really haven't heard you talk good about safeties, though.
You don't pay them. They're the running back on the defense.
So you don't pay Justin Simmons? You don't pay Justin Simmons?
What is he asking for? Because I'm not paying safety.
What's like an average safety salary?
Well, it depends. The average safety is probably like 8.5 right now. And the high end is 12.
I was going to say 15.
Position of the defense.
No, like 15.
I'm not paying no safety 15. None.
Who are safeties out there? They are just sitting right there.
They're all sitting there waiting.
What's the name on the Falcons? I'm forgetting everybody's name today.
Jesse Bates.
Yeah, you ain't paying them 15?
No,
I would pay him 15.
You want to know why the Falcons are paying him 15? Because they don't have the defensive pieces to be like,
but he had a good year last year, Dylan.
Really good.
Great. That's the problem. But the rest of your defense wasn't above average.
So imagine if it was, because he's really good.
Well, you're paying a safety that money. That means you're paying a not more important player that money.
Though. That has nothing to do with him.
Again, I will not fault any player from getting their bag. Right? There's positions you pay and there's positions you don't pay. Running back is a position you don't really pay on offense.
I agree with the running back, but
safety is a position on the defense you don't pay.
Oh, that's the position. That's why they're cutting everybody. That's why who's been signed? Look at all the safeties that are available.
They'll be signed.
They're gonna get signed.
They're getting bad contracts compared to what their value was like 2 years ago. They're getting the shit end of the stick right now. And that's just how it has to be. Somebody on the defensive side has to do it. Somebody on the offensive side has to do it. If you don't do it, what position do you do it to?
No, you have a point. I do agree with that. When you look at the defensive side, there has to be that running back equivalent on the defensive side. I will agree with you on that. But I would say, arguably, I would say the safety is still a very important position.
An elite safety,
because you're literally in charge of a wide portion of the field.
The safety is the last line of defense, and depending on where you're playing, your value is different. If you're free safety, you are playing center field.
But it depends on because certain defenses, the safety is very important. Certain defenses don't work without.
No defense is elite. No defense is elite with a safety by itself, right? The defense.
But you could say that with any position.
No,
You can't.
you cannot.
No defense is.
Let me tell you about this team in
just a
2010.
cornerback.
Let me
No
tell you about this
defense is
team in
elite with just a
2010 that would
linebacker.
like a war. That would like a
No
word with
defense is
you.
elite with just a defensive edge.
There was a
because
team
the Rams
in
would have multiple Super Bowls by
2010,
now.
2011 that plays in Jersey that wears green. They happened to have at the time the best corner in football. He went out with a ACL injury, and what was an elite defense turned into a dog shit defense. So I have the argument that more important positions at more important like players at more important positions make more of an impact than you do at safety.
My argument
Right?
is there's
You
no
take
one
Ed Reed
position.
off those Ravens teams. Those
They're
Ravens
still
teams
a
still
good
have
defense.
an elite defense. They
Yeah.
get pushed over the top.
You
Right?
can argue the running back position is also important too.
If you want to go back to Jamal Adams with the Jets, 2018, right? 2018, Jamal Adams is first team All-Pro on a bad defense. He was the best player on a bad defense. So much so, he was able to get a nasty contract with Seattle, get exposed when he played, and then never played again because he kept getting hurt.
Broncos get rid of Simmons. Seattle gets rid of both their safeties.
You have to just find a decent replacement.
We're arguing two different things, though.
The
But,
Eagles fired too.
I don't think an elite safety is worth it if you don't have the elite pieces that are necessary. That's what I'm saying. They are not as valuable as a corner, nowhere near as valuable as a corner, nowhere near as valuable as a defensive end, nowhere near as valuable as a middle linebacker.
I don't agree with the nowhere near part, but I would say they're not as valuable, but I don't think it's by that much. I mean, when you look at what safeties have to do out there on the field, the space they got to cover.
Because every position you just named, I can hide my deficiency if that's the weakest part of my defense. If the rest of my defense is strong, I can hide each position you just said.
If you have bad corners,
I can hide them.
You can only hide them if you have a really good defensive line.
Well, guess what? That's how you hide them, Dylan. That's
great.
That's
And if
why
you have,
everyone's
and
not.
If you have a bad defensive line,
matter.
How do you hide a bad defensive line?
With a strong secondary.
Wrong.
That's how you hide them because there's nowhere to throw. You give them more time to rush. That's how you hide
corners, not safeties. Corners. There's only 3 safeties in the last 10 years that I think transcend the safety position.
Transcend is a strong word.
That can do it all. So like Honey Badger, right? The only reason Honey Badger was so good was because he also could play corner. He was a slot corner. Minka Fitzpatrick. The only reason Minka Fitzpatrick was so good was because he also played corner. And then there's Derwin. And then the other one is Derwin James.
Kyle Hamilton, he also plays a slot too.
Kyle Hamilton right now is one of those weird ones because he's also a linebacker, corner, safety hybrid. He is great not because he's a safety. He's great because he's versatile. That's what makes a corner like fantastic. Kevin Byard is not that guy anymore.
Yeah, but
so how much would you throw? How much money would you throw at a star safety?
He just said it. 9 million, 8 million.
Out of with the safeties that are currently here, I'm not going more than 9.
I'm talking about. Forget about that. Just
if I have a Kyle Hamilton, I'm talking completely different now because he is a different position. He's like that Charles Woodson in 2012, where it's like, all right, he's playing corner, he's playing safety, he's blitzing at the box, he's everywhere. So it's like it's a little bit different than just like, oh, he's Kevin Byard who's playing center field. He's not just doing that. He's also Jamal Adams in the box. Oh, and then he's also insert slot corner here.
Also, in today's NFL, Jamal Adams type safeties don't work no more.
Jamal Adams can't play football at a high level anymore because he doesn't have the ability to cover. He never was great at covering. He was hidden a lot by blitzes in Greg Williams' defenses. That's why he was like 2 sacks away from breaking Rondé Barber's sack record for a DB. He was there's a reason I call him Blitz Boy. He is successful at blitzing, but he was bad at everything else.
He was a fast linebacker. That's what he was.
He was an undersized, fast linebacker. That's what he was. So, like, The safety, you have to be versatile. If you are not incredibly versatile or you are an older safety, I'm not paying you. If the Bears would have waited 4 days, they would have had a better option at safety. They could have gotten Justin Simmons. Justin Simmons is a much better safety than Kevin Byard.
Fell that way, though. We don't know how the chips would fall if they did wait.
Yes, even right now that we look at the safety market, they're still all there.
They're still all there. But they will be signed, and most
they're going to
of
be signed
them
for significantly less. Like Honey Badger's contract extension is worth $6 million. Yeah, but he's still better than most of these guys that are.
So what do you think about McKinney's contract?
You're not going to pay him because he's old. He almost retired. Like
Xavier McKinney,
I'm not giving him $15 million.
I'm not giving Xavier McKinney what he got, but I understand why they gave him. I understand why they gave it to him because he's also young.
Yeah,
and he's really good.
He is.
Really
That's what's like. I'm not going to get mad at that contract because you got him.
I wouldn't have given him that money.
I wouldn't have.
That's crazy. So you would have let him walk for
that's $17 million a year.
You would have let him walk.
The Giants let him walk.
The Giants are also rebuilding.
They also just paid Burns like $150 million.
The Giants let him walk. I would much rather let McKinney go. Let McKinney go, and I'm going to go build teams the way they're supposed to be built, from the inside out, not the outside.
That's how I would build a team too. That's why if you're telling me I got to get rid of McKinney to get Burns, he can go.
Yeah, I'm not paying him that much.
He can go.
Yeah.
Like, the Packers are crazy for paying him that. But again, like the Packers have their corner.
They overpaid him.
They overpaid him,
but they didn't crazy.
But he does have age on his side though.
But again, that's why I understand that contract.
That's what I mean. They overpaid
that's why
him.
I understand.
How much of that contract is guaranteed anyway?
That I don't know. By the time that contract's over, that will not be a bad contract.
It depends.
4 years from now, that's not going to be a bad contract.
It depends on what it is. Remember, when the Bears extended Eddie Jackson like 4 years ago, when he was like top like 5 safeties in football, it was really good idea to re-sign him. And then the next year he was awful. So, like,
well, he fell off the cliff.
He fell off the cliff at 26 years old.
Clearly, he wasn't that good.
How do you know that about McKinney?
We don't. I would be willing to say it's not going to happen to him.
I mean, it's funny. You look at the Packers; they gave the safety and a running back a big contract.
the running back the Josh Jacobs contract's funny to me because they signed him with the idea that, like, oh, we're gonna have him and keep Aaron Jones. We just got to restructure Aaron Jones, and Aaron Jones is like, "LOL, no."
Dylan, I agree. I think that's exactly what Green Bay thought was going to happen. And he was like, no, I'm not playing no 2-back system. Fuck out of here.
No, he's like, we already failed that last year.
Go get this starter money. But I do like what Green Bay did. I think because Green Bay was already young, and unlike Dylan, I love this Xavier McKinney signing because that defense was young and scary last year.
No, that's why I'm not mad at it. That's why I'm not mad at it.
Significantly better. Like, this Packers team, you thought me and Steven was all in on them Packers last year? You can book it right now. They're going to win the division.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
What's the breaking news?
Wait.
The Chicago Bears.
Wait. Why are we?
Wait. I'll wait. Breaking news. Year of our Lord 2024. We are here to witness the Los Angeles Chargers are trading wide receiver Keenan Allen to the Chicago Bears for a 4th round pick.
What?
Did we say that? Those receivers were not going to be on that fucking team.
A 4th round pick?
4th round.
4th round pick.
He's old. You're not going to get a first one?
No, at least a 3rd.
No.
For Keenan Allen?
At least a 3rd too.
A 3rd, man.
I'm not mad at him for a 4th. I'm not mad at it.
Listen, that's a good trade.
That's not. I'm not mad at it.
I did at least a 3rd for Keenan Allen, though.
Keenan Allen's good. Keenan Allen's hurt a lot, but
he
like,
can't stay on the field.
But that's his problem. He can't stay on the field. When he's
on
the field, he goes nuts.
To be honest, I'm surprised it wasn't like a 6th round pick.
That would have been disrespectful.
Oh no,
It
no.
wouldn't be. You want to know?
Yeah,
I'm
that's
only
great.
saying that because if your options are trading for a 6th-round pick or cutting him like you were cutting Mike Williams, at least you got something.
Mm.
If those were your options, I don't know what the Chargers were looking at, but
So now they have to go receiver. So now who are the other receivers?
They're
Who-
absolutely going receiver.
so if Marv is gone by the time the Chargers pick at what?
Well,
6?
he absolutely will.
He will. Be
Yeah.
gone.
So
Wait,
well,
well,
it depends
Chargers pick
because
6?
the Chargers are somewhere in the top 10.
They're in front of Tennessee. I know that.
You still have Neighbors
I'll tell you.
and you have Malik Neighbors and Roma Dunzy. They'll be fine. They'll be able to pick receiver, no problem. So, shout out to the Bears. That's a great move.
The
great
Chargers are picking number 5.
5.
Oh yeah, they're picking number 5. Oh yeah, they'll get
So-
somebody.
Neighbors or a Dunzy.
Wide receiver.
That's exactly who they're going to get.
Neighbors or a Dunzy. You want big guy, you go get Neighbors. If you want another Keenan Allen, you go get a Dunzy.
And that's what they're going to do. Because who's their coach? And who has he been scouting and playing against? LSU. He knows
Who's
what
the
to do.
coordinator?
Oh
The
yeah, they're
Who did they just sign? The bands get back together.
the Gus Buzz.
I just didn't think they were going to get rid of both of them. That was a little shocking.
Oh, we called this. I'm like,
Yeah, I heard the Beretta boys call that.
That's
But it doesn't shock me too much because neither of them were
According to
healthy.
Ian Rappaport, the Chargers approached star wide receiver Keenan Allen about a pay cut today. He declined.
Oof.
because Bosa and Mac took pay cuts. Otherwise, they were going to get cut.
Yeah.
Hell. And who else got? They cut somebody from the
Mike
defense? No,
Mike Williams.
I'm surprised they didn't shop Mike Williams before cutting him. His contract was crazy, but
and he's more hurt than Keenan Allen is.
actually, no. I went back and I looked
It
at
feels
his
like
numbers.
it.
It feels like it, right?
He's always hurt.
It feels like Mike Williams never plays football.
no, the only year that he got hurt because Keenan
No,
Allen
it was 2 years.
and then when Mike Williams is the only threat in the field, they're like, well you're not getting him.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, he has played 14 games a year. Like he misses a handful of games a
14
year.
games a year for win.
I think he's been in the league for what?
Not the
6
past
years
2-3 years.
now?
No
Out of
way.
the last.
No.
Not last year he was out. And the year before that, he had injury
Mike Williams
issues.
played 10 games last year.
Okay, that's
10
almost
games.
that's half a season.
But then he went out for the year for the injury.
So he played 10 games his rookie year.
Because he was hurt. He got hurt in the national championship game.
He played 16 his second year,
Big time.
15 his third year, 15 his fourth year, 16 his sixth year, or his fifth year, 13 the year before, and he only played in 3 last year. So really, he's only played less than 14 games three times in his career.
He must have played through some
career?
injuries or some shit.
But the last 2 years he hasn't been playing. He played
Well,
3 and then he played half the season. this year.
13?
You said 3.
3 in 2023, 13 in 2022.
He played 13 in 2022.
So
That's
what
I'm
that
saying.
tells
It
me
seems like
is
he's never on the field.
that means that he has no impact on the game. That's what that means.
He's had 1,000 yards twice. He's 895
Impact.
2022. Where are his touchdowns?
Well, that's good for a wide receiver too, though.
Listen, in 13 games, 4 touchdowns. In 16 games, 9 touchdowns. 15 games, 5 touchdowns. Or 15 games, 2 touchdowns. But he didn't get a lot of. He got 1,000 yards, 2 touchdowns. That was 2019. Who was it? 2019.
It'd be Herbert.
Herbert. Or early Tyrod. That was Tyrod. And then Herbert.
Oh, well, Tyra got stabbed, and then Herbert took over.
The year. And And then the prior year, he didn't really have a lot of touches, but he had 10 touchdowns in 2018 on 600 yards. But Mike Williams, as far as like a 50-50 ball, I only think there's like one other receiver in football who has a better catch percentage than him in 50-50 balls. So it's like, that's what you want in a red zone target at number 2. That's exactly what you want in a red zone target at number 2. But again, like I've been of the assumption that Mike Williams just never plays football. And then I looked at it, like when he got cut, I was like, he plays far much more football than I thought he did.
That must have been Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen's one who also gets hurt all the time.
But this past year was like one of his more healthy seasons.
Yes.
Which is not that.
But and then let's look at Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen has played 13. Hold on, that's his jersey number. Sorry.
He's been playing for a long time.
13, 10, 16, 14, 16, 16, 16 for the last 7 years.
No impact then. They have no impact. Because we think that they're not doing anything because they're hurt, but when in reality, they're just not doing anything.
I mean, Keenan Allen's a perennial, like, 1,000-yard receiver.
I mean, I was like, well, Keenan Allen's pretty good, but, like, he's just always hurt. That's why I don't hear crazy numbers from him, but maybe it's just he can't put up crazy numbers.
No, there were definitely games where him and Mike Williams, they played hurt. Like,
I mean, he averages, like, 6 touchdowns a year. And he's a guaranteed 1,000-yard receiver, unless he actually like gets hurt.
Now he's paired with DJ Moore, so
yeah. Now him with DJ Moore, that's going to open up the game for DJ Moore so much because Keenan Allen, like I'm on record saying this. I think Keenan Allen is the most undervalued, underappreciated wide receiver in football. He gets swept under the rug so much because we all just forget that he plays football sometimes because he misses games every year, but he's a great route runner, has great hands. Keenan Allen's awesome.
Would you rather have him or Mike Evans?
Quarterback for the Bears next year.
Mike Evans
is fucking. Mike Evans is just like one of those ones that just flies under the radar. You forget how good he is. Keenan Allen just gets ignored. Keenan Allen just flat out just gets ignored. But no, whoever's playing quarterback for the Bears, because they can't give Justin Fields away.
I was going to ask you to announce that trade. So, like, why wouldn't you just keep him and have both of them?
I don't think it's a good idea to have.
Do you have to pay him? Because you can just keep him, and if Caleb stinks.
Well, doesn't he have a 5th-year option?
He has a 5th-year option if you pick up, because you have to make that decision next year. Oh, wait, hold on. This is year 4.
They
have to pick it up in, like, I think before August.
Yeah.
Pick it up and see what happens.
$24.5 million.
Let's see what happens.
You might as well run
it. What if Caleb is not what we think he is?
Exactly. You're taking a risk.
You're taking a risk regardless.
But Fields also isn't what they thought he was.
Last year, he only got hurt. That's the difference.
Yeah, they're taking a risk regardless because you don't really know what you have. But as an organization, I don't think it's a great idea to have both of your quarterbacks be young guys. You need an adult in the room at some point, and Brett Rippon isn't that guy that you want to be the adult in a quarterback room with rookie quarterback who's like supposed to take over the face of franchise, and then other first round quarterback that you took 4 years ago who's trying to show you he's still the face of the franchise. So there could be a lot of toxicity there in the locker room for it. So
or you could have like San Francisco had and have
they can trade
and Trey and then figure out who's better. And
they had Jimmy. One. They had Jimmy first, and then Jimmy got hurt. Then Trey kept getting hurt, and then they got to see Brock Purdy play really well and be like, "Well, that's it."
What happened is they traded. They wanted Mac Jones. Then they decided no, and they got Trey Lance and know what they're gonna do. But they're like, we're gonna do Jimmy for a year, and they make Trey Lance a starter. Trey Lance got hurt. Jimmy came in and Jimmy got hurt.
So like they were forced because they got to see real game reps from Purdy, where they didn't get a lot of that from Trey Lance, and a lot of the game reps they got out of Trey Lance was still like, oh, he's figuring it out. Not he has it.
His rookie year, he played like 2 games. I think they won one of them, and then his second year,
that monsoon game where he was.
That was the second year. That was the first game of the year. They lost that, and then he got hurt the next game in another rain game.
And now he's just a permanent backup.
Like, how did they go from this guy is the starter, and then like he can't play? Like,
I don't know either, because I still think there might be talent there, but
I think there's talent there, but like sometimes that shit just doesn't translate.
But we don't know, Dylan. We don't know.
Well, that's what the coaches are. We're not supposed to know. We're not supposed to know until like the coaches have made that decision for us to know, right? So like they get to see him in practice all the time. We don't. So they clearly know something that we don't know. Because we see talent, we see X, Y, and Z, but they see him in practice reps missing open guys with nobody defending him.
Having practice reps the year before and said he is our number 1.
So, like, when Kyle Shanahan can't figure out at quarterback, that's a problem.
I think they just fell in love with Brock. I think Trey can play. I think they just fell in love with Brock.
Listen, I'd fall in love with Brock, too, if he ran the offense the exact way you want him to.
Yeah. And so that's what I think this is going to sound good, but, like, it's a company, guys. Yes. Oh, this is how you want to play, run, coach. This is how I'm going to run the play, coach.
He's also the last pick of the draft. So what other option does he have?
He also wasn't supposed to play unless all the 2 guys in front of him got hurt. And guess what happened?
Listen, it's the Tom Brady situation where Mo Lewis takes out Drew Bledsoe and Brady's like, fuck it, I'm in. I'm in. Shout out to Mo Lewis, 3-time fucking Pro Bowl linebacker taking out fucking Drew Bledsoe, ruining my fucking life.
Forever. Yes.
Ruined my fucking life. Of course the Jets did it.
Well, before you show Buffalo, because Buffalo has had a very interesting, because that only shows who they signed. It doesn't show who they lost. Yeah. Let's go to Miami, because we were talking about this pre-show.
Yeah, no, and I retract a little bit. I saw some of the people that they signed.
Okay.
I forgot they signed a guy on here, and I was like, okay, that's better. It doesn't show who they lost.
It doesn't show who they lost
because they lost like really good corner when healthy Xavier Howard.
Christian Wilkins,
one of the 5 best defensive tackles in football. Jerome Baker, who I'm surprised still hasn't signed anywhere yet because he's very good. But you lose Xavier Howard. Kendall Fuller is good. He's not as good as Xavier Howard, but he is very good. So that's a good signing. And then Jordan Poyer.
Poyer's an upgrade.
Poyer is a massive upgrade.
Him and Chubb together is going to be Chubb, and Shaq Barrett together is nightmare fuel.
Mm-hmm. I don't know because I don't know who's stopping the run for them.
That's who cares? Who cares?
You need to stop the run.
You got to throw it at some point, and when you do, you die. So
yeah, but again, Kendall Fuller is not like great. You downgraded at corner.
He doesn't have to be great when you have those 2. If Shaq Barrett is anything like Shaq Barrett with Chubb healthy, who cares?
Well, again, it's
not Chubb, Jalen Phillips.
Well, both, yeah, because Chubb doesn't get a lot of sacks to begin with. It's Jalen Phillips,
he creates attention. So he creates a lot of attention, which is going to help those 2.
The Shaq, I think the Shaq Barrett signing is more of a rotational piece than a guy who's actually going to play a lot.
It might be. That's why I said if you get the Shaq Barrett.
If you get him on Super Bowl, if you get him on that Shaq, that's what's good. They want to get you on 3rd and long, and then
Shaq Barrett's also like.
I'm not saying like that's all pro Shaq, but I'm saying if you get what Tampa, something like what Tampa had, then that's a very good signing for them.
Well, what Tampa had was great Shaq Barrett.
Yeah, but that's what
he was awesome. Now he's a little bit older, a little bit longer in the tooth. Hey, Chubb, you're out for this play. Tag out.
Shaq Barrett.
Here. Hey, you guys. We got him to 2nd and 12. Chubb, tag out real quick.
Or it's 2nd and 12 or 3rd and let's put them both in and see what happens.
Well, you also have Phillips, so then you have to decide what else you're doing.
Let's put them all in and say go.
If you put them all in 3rd 1, they're getting pushed the fuck back.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, no, we're not going to do
I'm
that.
about to say,
We're not-
that's a little bit different.
We're not
Say,
going to
put
do
the ball
that
in.
part.
Third
You
and long, then it's like, okay,
But
cool.
if we get them in 3rd and long, go.
So we're gonna running backs in Miami. I don't know why you're fucking signing anymore. You have like 3 that are good. Like, why you keep signing them?
He's already on the team.
What are we doing? Like, he's
Yeah,
he's fourth running back. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Tight ends in this offense also don't like really matter. But John Smith, he could play. He could play.
Tight end. River Craycraft. Who the fuck?
Yeah, Rigger. No, he was the other wide receiver.
Wide receiver. Who was their tight end?
Who was their tight end? Chase Claypool?
Was it?
What? No. Wasn't it? What's his name?
Jordan Brooks is a solid signing, but Jake Bailey, he's a good punter. Resign, like that's fine. I don't think Miami made up for what they lost, but they didn't lose as bad.
Yeah, but who's their defense coordinator now?
I don't know. Breaking news. Play it.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Play that shit.
Pray. This is like a real life in the chat when I'm at work. Yeah, that's just not my phone. Breaking news. Year of our Lord 2024. The Kansas City Chiefs have signed wide receiver Marquise Hollywood Brown.
Whew. Oh my god.
The Chiefs love signing wide receivers who drop the football.
I thought you were gonna say T. Higgins. I was like, oh my god, I was going to get the fuck out of here.
Red Kingdom.
1 year deal.
Would make sense for them.
That's a great signing for them. He will make life a little easier. He doesn't have to catch the ball as long as he doesn't drop it 8,000 times.
He will drop it 5,000 times though.
He will be what Sammy Watkins was for them.
Breaking news.
Really?
More breaking news.
Darius Tony signed a 3-year deal with McDonald's.
Oh.
He got
He got us. He got us. No, I don't really care for this move. I think this makes it more like so Kadarius Toney just doesn't play football. And MVS isn't on the team anymore, so you need a wide receiver on your roster besides Rashee Rice. I preferably, if I was the Chiefs, I wouldn't want to add a receiver who has led the NFL in drops after you've had a drop problem because your team led the NFL in drops.
So, didn't stop us winning the Super Bowl.
It didn't stop us from winning the Super Bowl, but it did hinder them a few times.
They were frustrated a couple weeks in a row from the drops. Like there was some frustration.
You could say the drops cost them home field advantage.
It didn't happen in the It didn't happen in the playoffs. They weren't dropping them in the playoffs though, but it cost them home field advantage.
It absolutely cost them home field advantage. But
Even though-
shout out to the Chiefs adding area of need. Buffalo went and cut everybody but Von Miller, and then created enough space to make some signings.
Von Miller took a pay cut.
He needed to because boy,
trying to become a GM.
Yeah, Von Miller is washed.
that Von Miller contract. Did you know all 4 of us combined had the same amount of sacks as Von Miller last year?
We definitely didn't make his salary last year.
Definitely didn't make his salary, so I think he owes us some money. Because he definitely ruined the fucking Bills salary cap a little bit.
The Chargers were the two.
Did he ruin it or did they ruin it? He didn't sign himself to that contract. They gave him that shit.
The Bills and the Chargers were the 2 worst teams that were dealing with cap hell. That's why they had to basically. This is why I said. Well, that's why I said you might.
Well, the Chargers got out. I think the Bills are still over.
And hire a new coach because you're getting rid of everybody.
Josh Allen took a pay cut too.
Yeah.
Allen took a restructure.
Your wide receivers or freaking your second best wide receiver is Mac Hollins.
Curtis Samuel, but again, they're both going to be better than Gabe Davis. So
yeah, Yeah.
But when we go back 2 years and I'm just like, Gabe Davis really ain't that good. Everybody told me, oh, Gabe Davis is good. Gabe Davis, and fuck y'all.
No, he's not.
Dylan was right.
Why the Mitch Morse? That was the one that shocked me. Was the Mitch Morse getting rid of Mitch Morse at center?
Yeah, they got rid of a lot of guys that I'm just like, man, they are in fucking hell, huh? They are in hell where you have to get rid of these guys. But
Mitch had backup. I don't know how Mitch keeps getting jobs. I don't care if it's just a backup position.
it's him and Nathan Peterman. I don't know how Nathan Peterman keeps getting jobs either.
We've seen Mitch Trubisky was so bad in Pittsburgh last year, and then Mason Rudolph came and was like, "Oh no." When Mason Rudolph came and did that shit, it's like, "Oh, Trubisky just needs to be."
And the Titans went and got the best fucking Steelers quarterback last year. The best move here is Deion Dawkins resigning. That's the best move.
Pretty much.
Because left.
I think Curtis Samuel's a good signing too.
Curtis Samuel's another one of those guys where it's like they finally get. I think he's a really good third option.
Basically,
And
like
Mac Hollins is better than
man's Debo Samuel.
Yeah, Curtis Samuel will be fine. I think Mac Hollins is better than we're giving him credit for. I think he will be better than Gabe Davis. But I think these two with Diggs will be more impactful. And then you get a full year of Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox. The offense makes moves. And then you still like run the football like you did at the end of the year. You get a really good.
I still think the Bills are going to be really good.
Their defense is going to be super suspect, but.
You think Josh Allen had to be Superman last year?
He's going to have to be Superman when he's got to score 30 a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he arguably has better offensive talent this year.
Yeah, but you still need to play defense.
The only thing they're really missing on their defense is
secondary.
Because they had the same corners. Trey White's been hurt the past 3 freaking years. The only thing they've really missed is Jordan Poyer.
Now you lose that because you had arguably the best safety tandem in football. Didn't make a difference, by the way. And your corners already aren't that good. Von Miller didn't exist. Matt Milano broke his leg.
Elam Jones and the other guy, they've been there. They do their thing. It's just
they're fine, but like they're gonna get beat if you can't get the pressure. Von Miller didn't get pressure a lot this year. Greg Rousseau took a step back from the year before. Ed Oliver took a step forward.
They haven't been able to get pressure the past 3 years. That was the whole reason why they signed Von Miller, and he got hurt year one.
Yeah, but it was some of that help on the back end, huh?
It was an ACL injury that he had, wasn't it?
Who, Trey?
Von Miller.
Oh, yeah. I believe so. The year before was an ACL. This year, he missed games because of legal trouble.
Recover from an ACL.
Oh, yeah.
We got to see what happens this year with Von Miller. If he's really washed or not.
But he's also old.
Yeah, that was also a second ACL injury, too. He's torn his ACL before.
Yeah, but again, he's also like old. So you combine ACL injury on an edge rusher position that requires quick movement. Tough.
And they're also going to get Milano back from injury. So
the Patriots really just re-signed all their players.
Anthony's B team.
They really just re-signed all of their players and then signed Jacoby Brissett.
Don't associate me with this team, Mike.
Don't associate you with them.
And let me fun fact, Steven. Anthony, every time the Patriots do anything, is like, y'all better run. Y'all better run.
Coming, Dylan.
No.
The Patriots are coming.
Bet against them?
No. I said if they got T. Higgins, Dylan better
And
run.
it wouldn't fucking matter anyway. It wouldn't matter.
Hit on quarterback. It doesn't matter.
If they hit on a quarterback and they get T. Higgins, Dylan, if they hit on a quarterback and they get T. Higgins, the Patriots are winning the East.
No, they're not. The Patriots will be lucky to win 7 games.
No.
Anthony, who's their quarterback?
Wheel spin.
I said if they hit on a quarterback.
Wheel spin. I don't care. You could take that. I don't care who their quarterback is. They're not winning 7 games.
Oh, you just don't think they're winning 7 games?
I think they win 7 or less. I don't think they'll win more than 7.
They don't have the talent. What's on there?
There's no talent on this team.
Well, that's not really what I'm talking about here. Anyway, the only angle I'm coming from is if they hit on a QB and they get T. Higgins, they're winning the East. That's all I'm saying. As far as the 7 wins,
the Bills are still better. The Dolphins are still better. The Jets get Aaron Rodgers. They're also still better.
Well, Aaron Rodgers might be running for office.
Again, if Aaron Rodgers isn't the VP of RFK's fucking presidential campaign,
Shows up for the Jets this year, they're still better than the Patriots.
like if Tyrod Taylor is the starting quarterback of this Jet team, they're still better than the
The
Patriots.
Jets won.
Oh yeah, I forgot y'all signed Tyrod Taylor.
The Jets.
We're the
won
real New
7
York team who
games
keeps
with
black
Zach Wilson
quarterbacks,
and the
Mike.
whole quarterback menagerie they had this past season.
That's a fact.
And they easily could have won 9. There was 2 games they just fucked up.
If Tyrod was the
You talking
quarterback
about
of our
Jets?
team this year, we won 10 games.
There were 2 games they had won. There were 2 games they had won. They lost. They easily could have been 9-8 instead of 7-10.
So, like, even if you get T. Higgins, we don't know anything about this team. That's the problem.
Just-
Bill's not here, so you don't know the team's identity. You don't know what their offense is really going to be. Their defense is going to be similar, but again, it's not Bill's defense. Bill is a defensive mastermind.
You got to remember, Bill's voice is gone. Who's offense coordinator?
I have no idea.
We don't know what quarter. They're taking a quarterback. That's the only reason they signed Brissett.
Unless Daniels isn't there. If Daniels isn't there, they're not taking a quarterback. I've been saying this for weeks. Anthony told me I was crazy like 2 weeks ago, but now all the talk is like really floating around. They're like, hey, they love Jaden Daniels. People really don't like Drake May like that right now. If Daniels is gone at 2,
I heard the Commanders are really leaning towards Daniels.
Yes.
Yes, because Jaden Daniels is the second best quarterback in this draft. So it makes sense. And then at 3 with the Patriots, if your choices are Drake May or Marvin Harrison Jr. or what the fuck his name is? Marvin Harrison Jr. You're taking Marvin Harrison Jr. because you had 2 of the 3 least productive players at their position at wide receiver last year. Jacoby Brissett needs to be your starter regardless, because if he's good, you're fine, right? Then he's like, cool, extend him for another 2 years, whatever. We found him. He's back home. Or he's bad. You get put into another strong quarterback class next year, but yeah, at least you have Marv. And then you put yourself in a spot to get Quinn Ewers, Shador Sanders, homeboy from Dylan Gabriel. Like, you have your options. Just getting quarterback doesn't fix this team. But
this team, I don't know. Jaden Daniels, they're not going to get Jaden Daniels. He's not going to be there. So they're either going to trade. I don't know if they get wide receiver. They might trade out, because what's good is having a wide receiver if you ain't got nowhere to throw him to.
well, again, Brissett's playable.
Yes, he's playable, but look at
Brissett will win you games.
all the other quarterbacks in the division.
Oh yeah, no, he's not as good as any of the quarterbacks in the division, but he'll fuck around and win you some football games.
You rather take the quarterback and hopefully hit on it, because if you hit on the quarterback, then whatever wide receivers you take in the next couple of years, it doesn't matter. You have the quarterback.
Yeah, but do you trust? I don't trust Drake May.
But it's harder to get a quarterback. You have to.
But here's the thing, Dylan. A lot of people do.
Again, Drake May's falling for a reason. So, like, apparently, a lot of people are similar in my thinking process.
It's North Carolina.
North Carolina quarterbacks just stink. Don't matter. North Carolina quarterbacks are bad, and until proven otherwise, that's where I'm going to be. Same thing with Ohio State. Outside of CJ Stroud and maybe Justin Fields, who knows? I have the right to reserve that every fucking Ohio State quarterback is going to be bad in the NFL.
But I think I am kind of leaning more towards the Marvin Harrison pick now. Now that I think about it, because I think Chicago they're going to find a way to ship Justin Fields. They'll find some team. I believe some team will pick up Justin Fields.
It's not a matter of them not wanting to get him. It's what they want better compensation.
Yeah, they want better compensation, essentially.
Fields just signed a quarterback. So what are the suitors? The Bears make a decision. The Bears have to make a decision. You sell low, because the teams are like, no. How desperate are you going to be? When it's time for the draft to come in a couple weeks, and you still have Justin Fields on your roster with the first pick of the draft, what are you going to do, Pace?
Anthony, go ahead. I'm sorry we cut you off.
No, I was just saying because like that whole because you think about it because every report I read on the Commanders and what they're trying to do is just Jaden Daniels. Like it's literally a lock at this point. Like, and then you think about New England, it's like okay, you look at the quarterbacks. Marvin Harrison Jr. It's hard to pass up on him when
Marvin Harrison
Caleb
Jr.
and Ben.
If you look at
like,
players just not
again, I don't watch college football, but I do see highlights.
Draft.
He's the best receiver.
I
Player.
Bar none.
Oh, you think player?
Yeah, if you were to go not position, Marvin Harrison is probably 1-1 on a lot of people's boards just as talent goes.
Because quarterback is such a value position, he would be in any other draft that was weak at quarterback. He would be like a
first pick,
a top 2 pick or whatever.
Like if the Bears were sure about Justin Fields, Marvin Harrison would be the first pick of this draft.
And if I was a GM, he would be.
I know. To be fair, they should keep. Not to be fair, but to be honest, they should just keep Fields. That's just my opinion. I always thought they should just keep Fields. There's a lot of promise.
Call New England and give me the third pick and the first next year and the first next year. Swap. You want it?
Yeah, New England's not going to do that. That's too rich.
Well, you get Caleb Williams or not? That way,
I would swap the third and first pick, give him the first pick next year, give him the second round the year after.
Yeah, but that's not how the Patriots are, and a lot of the reports are saying there's a lot of Bill still in there as far as the front office goes. There's a lot of Bill left in how it goes team building wise. So
the Bears, we just traded for Keenan Allen like 20 minutes ago. Why not take Marvin Harrison too?
That's
get out of Keenan Allen. 1,
I just forgot about that.
And 2,
they do have Keenan Allen now. They wouldn't need Marvin Harrison Jr.
3, you got Marv 2.
Well, no, you get Marv, DJ Moore, and Keenan Allen. Shit.
What am I saying, Dylan? Do that, and you got something.
The problem is they just don't know about Fields, and I don't think Caleb's going to be great in Chicago anyway because Chicago's offensive line's weird, and like their defense got better, but I still have questions. But I don't trust their play calling.
But don't.
Fields is super athletic. He knows how to extend plays. He played very well at the end of the season.
He was getting better and better as the season.
He was getting better and better.
Like really good until he got hurt.
How do you? It's crazy how teams are just what it feels like are just ignoring that.
Well,
and then you add Keenan Allen.
Loyalty to him. Why does this organization have any
loyalty
to him? They didn't draft him. This regime didn't draft him.
I get that, but look at the goddamn tape. Fuck loyalty. Like, look at the tape.
Again, he was playing really well at before he got hurt, but he also had that stretch where he was fucking awful before he got hurt. So you have like that mix.
But it's not how you start; it's how you finish, though.
Well, it was also him learning a new offense too.
But that's not how you run.
That is also true.
It's not about how you start, how you finish. It's about the whole thing as a whole. You have to look at the good and the bad. You can't draft a guy based on just the good. You have to draft on him being like, "Hey, the good's good, but the bad, I got questions, but I think the good outweighs the bad here." You have to.
I would say I saw more of a.
But if
I would say overall, I saw a progression from Justin Fields. I say overall, I saw a progression.
Caleb Williams is the best quarterback in this draft class, but
he's wild.
It doesn't mean he's going to be good. He could be a bust.
That's what I'm saying. You're taking a wild swing on Caleb.
They're treating Caleb Williams like he's a transcendent talent, and he's not. He's not.
He's not. He's just the best one here. And I had I've broken down my problems with Caleb Williams to you guys many a time. Where I just don't know what Caleb Williams is going to be in a structured NFL offense with playing against defenses who are significantly faster than what they were in college.
I think he will be.
Do you think a part of it is that the Bears just kind of want to reset the quarterback clock?
Well, yes,
that's what the problem here is they want to, Anthony. The problem is A, Justin Fields was playing really good towards the end of the season last year, and B, believe it or not, that fan base loves him.
Yes.
They don't
love
want to
him.
see him go.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to try to convince Chicago fans that we're going to get rid of this kid that we promised you was the world and was going to be all this and that. And you see the flashes when he plays and he's healthy for another kid that you've never seen play.
Yeah, and the problem is the previous regime is not the one that drafted.
Exactly.
The current regime is not the one that drafted him, and that's that's the only reason like why.
Yeah, they're not convinced. They want to set it up and get their own guy, and they're looking for a reason.
I get it, but I hate when
they're looking
you just
for
use
a
that
reason.
as a scapegoat.
To me,
problem is
if they didn't completely gut that front office, this wouldn't even be a discussion. It would be Marvin Harrison.
It really wouldn't.
And we're moving forward. But because they now have a competent GM who knows how to put pieces around people, there's talent there. So now like I said, Bears fans are looking and they're actually like, hey, Justin's pretty. I wonder how Justin would be if he actually had talent around him, because he had nothing around him and he was still not being god awful. Like, he can play. So what happens if he gets talent? Because we saw what
DJ Moore.
what he was like when he had talent when he was in college, and he was amazing.
Yeah,
so
but that's the thing especially at Ohio State. You have elite talent.
But Dylan, does he not have talent?
But what happened when he had DJ Moore? DJ Moore was eating.
Well, they had to figure out how to get DJ Moore the ball, but that's what the problem is with these guys.
Coaching was the problem.
The problem is in college, you have elite talent around you, and then when you're that good in college with the elite talent, you go to a situation that doesn't have the elite talent.
That's the problem. They're eating filet.
Every Alabama quarterback, Anthony, not just Bryce Young. Every Alabama quarterback.
Joe Burrow, I think, is what he said.
No, he said Bryce Young.
Oh,
that's Bryce. Yeah,
Bryce will be okay. Bryce will be okay.
Will he be okay this year?
I don't know, because they still don't have any talent in Carolina.
Yeah, his offensive line.
They were throwing money at them guards. I'll tell you that.
They can protect him. They can protect him for 10 seconds. He still has nobody to throw the ball to.
That's what Roz and I were talking. He was like, CJ Stroud would have been the better pick. I was like, CJ Stroud would have been running for his life too.
He would have been running for his life too.
Yeah, I hate when people say
the fucking Panthers and the Texans was Laramie Tunsil.
That's what we were saying earlier here. It's like, how would you do when you go in your place and Dylan is your left tackle, and then you get drafted and you got to learn.
It's like you go. Their Panthers line is just awful, but then you have like the second best left tackle in football.
But then you have nobody to throw the ball to. But
except for old man Adam Thielen.
Except for Adam
Bryce
Thielen
would have been as good in Houston though.
Bryce would have been better, but like he wouldn't have been as good as CJ Stroud.
Houston would not have been as good as they were.
No.
Yeah,
Young would have been better, but not as good as they are with Stroud. It just fits
perfectly.
It just fits.
It's perfect for them because he's the better player. I didn't get to talk about my Titans. Can I talk about my Titans?
Let's go. Let's do it.
We kind of got off script. We only have 2 minutes left in this segment.
I don't know how.
Either. We only have 2 minutes left. Okay, so yes, because we still got to talk about the running backs, which we'll just transition to after this. But I love Mason Rudolph being a backup quarterback, even though he's racist. I do too. Being a backup. I love him being a backup. He's a quality backup.
He is a quality backup.
Yes.
As long as the franchise doesn't revolve around him being the quarterback, he is a quality player, especially for that number. I love that number.
That's a great number.
Nothing for me. Tony.
It's good because if Levis is down for like 2-3 weeks, he has a little minor injury, Rudolph can step in and win 2 out of those 3 games.
Especially
Rudolph
with those
weapons.
Rudolph be all right.
He can get me a game or two if I need him to. Dylan Anthony will tell you in real time that Tony Pollard signing did nothing for me. I was just like,
that's the worst signing you guys have. That was the worst.
But Mike, realistically, was any running back going to do it for you though? Seeing Henry leave, though, was any?
Joe Mixon would have done it for me.
Yeah,
Aaron Jones would have did it for me. I would have been very happy.
Aaron Jones wasn't available yet until before you signed Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
That's the difference. You can't those two guys.
And the same thing with Mixon. Mixon didn't get traded until the following day.
Yeah.
How about we show a little patience? How about that? Excuse me for being.
You guys did show patience. That's why y'all got Ridley.
Show patience.
No, they didn't show patience on Ridley. They overpaid for Ridley.
Yes.
So because they had
They did overpay for Ridley.
The Patriots dipped out, the Jets hopped in, and then the Titans were like, "Well, we're going to give him 24 a year," and the Jets were like, "We're out."
Do you think Tennessee should have waited for Higgins?
No,
No.
you would have had to give a draft compensation.
Yeah, no.
That's right.
I'd much rather it be like this. And like I said, although I think T. Higgins is better, it's not by much. It's not substantial. Like, it's still the same thing. So
These guys are both really good number twos. I think T. Higgins is your top of your list number two guy. But
did you know Calvin Ridley and Amari Cooper are the same age?
That's crazy.
I know that's insane to me.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
I'm gonna tell you something, and yeah, I don't know how well. I mean, the Barrettos seemingly watch every game and know every player in the NFL.
It's incredible, right?
But I love re-signing Nick Westbrook. He is sneaky good. Him as a three.
Is fine.
I love him there.
It's because you guys whiffed on Burks.
Well, who cares?
No.
I saw
You're
Westbrook.
not doing that to me.
I saw Westbrook make so many clutch catches during the season.
You owe me an apology.
I don't need nothing.
Anthony does too. All the times Anthony.
No. Wait. Hold on. No, Dylan. I moved to your side eventually. I did. All right. Don't try to play me on this. Mike owes you an apology, not me.
Mike owes me an apology because I've been calling Treylon Burks a bust since before he got drafted. He's the poor man's Deebo Samuel.
But I will say he's more of a bust because he can't stay healthy.
Samuel.
He can't stay healthy.
I think he's more of a bust because he can't stay healthy.
He also can't catch.
And then
but he can't get us any rhythm because he keeps getting hurt all the time.
That's the only thing keeping him on the team, Anthony. That's the only thing. We don't know what a substantial 8-9 game run looks like.
He also can't get.
That's what I'm saying
because he can't stay on the field. But when he's on the field,
I still think if he played at least 80% of a season, he would put up good numbers. I still wholeheartedly believe it.
A bad route runner. He is not a good receiver. That's the problem.
He is.
But again, I can't assess his talent.
He's
to
got
be honest.
physical tools.
I really can't.
That's the problem.
He's
got the physical tools to be an awesome receiver.
He is too athletic.
He's a
combine guy. He is a combine guy.
He's a 4.33 fucking wide receiver with massive hands, 6'4", jump through the roof.
All of that, Dylan, and he's clumsy and falls over his
2 left feet. He's got
I've
hands.
I've never seen someone built like him that has no hand-eye coordination. I've never seen someone as athletic as Treylon is.
Stephen Hill.
He's not as athletic as.
Nope, Stephen Hill. Stephen Hill out of Georgia Tech, all of 6'5", jump out of the fucking building, fast as shit.
He's not
everything you could want. Everything you want. He was. That's the problem. He was like the same speed as Treylon Burks, and Stephen Hill would be open all the time, and then just let the ball fall through his hands.
But that's just not being able to. He stumbles through his routes.
Yeah, no, he doesn't have that. Stephen Hill didn't have that.
He can't it frustrates me because it's like, bro, if you gave me those physical talents right this second with my torn meniscus, I would be able to go out there and play better than him.
It's easy to do it in the combine when nobody's on the other side.
The worst part about it is, Mike, you should hate him even more because that's who replaced AJ Brown.
I do hate him because of that. Did I not voice that he better be as good as AJ Brown? And he's not. So,
I told you he wasn't.
So, Steven, back to everyone has
You
see how it comes full circle?
You hate him now?
Hate is strong. I don't like him.
My brother's giving him 1 year.
It's because Nick Westbrook is better than him. He's better than him.
Nick Westbrook is better than him, and Nick Westbrook also really isn't that good.
He makes good
That's the
catches,
He really
problem.
isn't.
but he seems
He
to
really
get
isn't.
open in the red
He
zone.
makes
He seems
sleeper
to
plays.
get open. Like
He makes sleeper plays.
Like
He makes
has
plays
sneaky
from time to time.
He
Every
makes
team has a
sneaky
player
plays.
like that. Every
Yes.
team has a player
Yeah.
like that really isn't that good, but just shows up randomly.
Just always seems to make a play when you least expect it. There he is making a play.
Well,
He is killing someone.
The best signing Tennessee has is the Chidobe Awuzie.
Cheeto is such a good signing.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
Lloyd Cushenberry.
Lloyd Cushenberry is the best
my favorite signing on
that list. The more I saw Dylan say that in the chat, and I was like, "What?" And then I went and saw it. I was like, "Oh shit! Here we go. We're rebuilding this line." Because let me tell you guys something. I know the Berettos know, and Tennessee's offensive line was god awful
because they were hurt and they were suspended for gambling.
Anthony, me and you could have made that line last year.
You guys are some big guys, though.
That's how bad that line was. That's how bad that line was. So seeing that signing, now you have a grown up at the brain of that line. Anthony,
you're going to draft left tackle. You're going to draft Joe Alt, and I'm going to be pissed off.
Damn bad, Anthony. You just watching my future quarterback have to run for his life when he's not a running quarterback is the worst anxiety any football. Dylan,
he can move.
Dylan, should he be running for his life?
I'm not saying he wasn't running for his life, but he can move. He's young and spry enough. He's another combine guy. Will Levis is another combine guy.
No,
he can move.
He can throw though.
Combine guy.
No, he can throw.
No, Will can play a little bit. I'll reserve my right to say I'm wrong because I haven't seen him a lot yet.
Touchdown game. He was. The ball was just coming out.
He was flinging. He can throw.
He has hot sauce on that.
He's
football.
buff Zach Wilson.
He's
buff Zach Wilson.
He's right now. You're gonna say I'm overreacting.
Yes,
but he's rookie Josh Allen. Remember how Josh Allen used to make those crazy
Will Levis
throws?
Isn't stupid though.
He's made a couple stupid throws.
But Josh Allen, his rookie year was like
Josh Allen.
He was dumb.
Josh Allen he still is kind of dumb.
He still is kind of dumb.
Will's not stupid like that.
Rookie Josh Allen was doing some stupid shit.
But the comparison I'm making is Will believes he can make any throw there is. So no matter what coverage, what window, he believes in his arm, he will throw that ball. That's what we got to get out of him.
The gas off.
That's what we got to get out of him.
Will just needs to stop throwing fastballs. And same thing me and Steve were saying with Anthony Richardson.
There's no changeup.
If Anthony Richardson is going to be throwing 99 all the time, he's going to throw a billion picks.
Yeah, because that's all Will does is those
99, those gas. If he can figure out to throw 94 and lead guys, great.
Which is what Josh Allen had to learn to do. Because that's what Josh used to do.
Josh Allen also had to stop throwing the ball fucking 6 feet too high.
But Josh used to just like I say, you dumb
and running backwards for 30 yards before taking sacks.
Which Will's not going to do because Will can't run. But.
No, Will's smarter than that. But no, Anthony came into the chat the second the tampering thing started. He goes, "What the fuck are the Titans doing? They haven't done anything." I'm like, Anthony, what are you talking about?
Where have you been?
I've been like. I don't like to give Mike any credit for the Titans. I don't like to give anybody any credit about anything, to be honest. But I am, if anything...
Especially me. Hashtag Titans hate.
I don't have Titans hate, but I like to fuck
with them. Yes, you do.
I like to fuck with them a little bit.
Definitely do.
You saw the suit that Derrick Henry was wearing today, though? It's fucking great.
That shit was thorough. That shit was thorough.
Follow every Tennessee Titan legend footstep. They all died.
Yes, that's why it literally doesn't even bother me. It doesn't bother me as much as I think y'all thought it was going to bother me. It does not bother me because
but it still bothers you.
Oh, it's annoying. It's annoying.
Well, as long as I have that little thorn, I'm gonna...
But I had to live through seeing anyone who doesn't know why I'm randomly a Titans fan. Steve McNair is my all-time favorite player. It's him. That's it.
Rest in peace.
He's my favorite player. Seeing him go to the Ravens, the hated Ravens, because that was when the Ravens were in our division.
Yeah.
The hated Ravens. There's no coming after that. I mean, outside of seeing Derek Jeter in a Red Sox jersey, there's nothing else. There's nothing else.
Mason,
Derek,
Derek.
I didn't like Derek. I didn't like Derek Mason either. That hurt too, but he was old. And then went over there and had 2 more good years, which was just mind-boggling. Because when he left us, he was old, washed up. Went to the Ravens and found 2 more years in his career. But I've seen Steve McNair, Derek Mason. There's been a few Titans that have hopped over there. So adding the Hulk to the list just
I think it's
because I like Lamar Jackson so much. So it
the hatred's not there anymore.
It's not. The hatred's not there. I don't have my boy R.I.P. Josh. I don't have Josh trolling me about the Ravens anymore. So it's easier for me to allow myself to like the Ravens. As you saw, as I was the captain of the Ravens bandwagon, which got me nowhere. But
I think it's gonna be an interesting year this year.
I'm just sitting here. My phone's buzzing. I'm just like, yeah, we're talking all this stuff. Apparently, the Patriots tried to trade for Keenan Allen.
Fail again.
And they just didn't.
Fail again.
They just didn't.
But what was you saying, Anthony, about Derrick Henry?
No, it wasn't about Derrick Henry. It's just I was looking at the Titans schedule, and I see that you guys are facing the Jets this year. And I said to myself, hold on. Don't the New Haven Airport got Nashville, Tennessee as one of the destinations? And an idea just popped in my head.
So I put the challenge.
We've been talking about that.
I put the challenge out, and then Tennessee became god awful, and I withdrew it. And now Tennessee's kind of good again. So now I'm thinking about it. It was discussed. It is on the table.
Hey.
Listen, I have this fucking American Airlines gift card that I got fucking 8 years ago when I proposed to Janice that I've been dying to use. So
random.
That is
so random. That is random.
Shout out to Kristen.
Expiration on that?
Gift cards don't expire.
Oh.
So yeah, we'll figure out what week that is. I mean, I do want to go to the stadium. I do want to go to that stadium before they get the new one.
Listen, Mike, I am down. So, I am down, and Roz is a hop, skip, and a jump away.
Yeah, Atlanta to Nashville.
And I think going to Nashville will be really fucking cool.
I think we'll have fun that weekend.
Some Nashville hot chicken. And some country music, some jelly roll.
Get some jelly roll.
All those women down there. Jesus.
Anthony, fucking shut up. I think the Titans won free agency.
I still think it's the team we're about to talk about next, the Philadelphia Eagles, because
the reason
Tennessee had a great one, but
the reason why
Mike, you might be right.
Free agency is more so because of the significant upgrades that they made from what they had. Right? So that's why I think they upgraded so much. The Eagles.
Wait, before just go back up to the Cowboys. Just go back up to the
and after we talk about the Eagles, I want to talk about the Raiders.
Okay.
So, well, we have to talk about the Giants. We have to. There's too many teams we have to talk about for us to be limited on time. This sucks.
Yeah, I mean, the running back.
You do the sped up version, all right?
Yeah, the running back version. We're on the running back topic, so we've got 15 minutes.
So,
Devontae Parker. Oof.
Devontae Parker sucks. What are we doing here?
Dylan hates.
But I do see what Mike is saying, because Landon Dickerson, Saquon Barkley,
he could not get any separation. He was like,
and they took Bryce Huff from y'all too
this year.
Bryce Huff is a wild card. I'm not this crazy Bryce Huff stan the way Roz is, where Roz thinks, oh man, he's pressured. This I understand that Bryce Huff plays 62% of the snaps, maybe less. I understand that he's not out there the same way a lot of these guys are, because Bryce Huff is not good against the run. He's an undersized edge rusher. He's 5'11". He's like Elvis Doomerville. He's really good and quick off the edge, and he's a Bugatti when you get him in his situations. But I don't know how you're going to stop the run on the edges, especially because your corners are who are supposed to set the edge. They're old, so they're not getting. And corners don't like to tackle anyway.
Yeah, Son they're gonna get rid of.
Hassan Ragg's gone. Brandon Graham retired.
No,
Brandon Graham signed a 1-year deal.
Brandon Graham is back.
Fletcher Cox retired. But you have those two studs in the middle and fucking Jordan Davis and fucking what's his face? Jalen Carter. Like, those two are freaks. But the edge is a tough spot, and I don't know how you're gonna stop the run in your base defense.
Same problem. Who are their corners again?
It's
CJ
Bradbury.
Johnson.
No, CJ is safety.
He's a safety. They have that at corner. I don't know why. He's a safety. And that's an upgrade from what they were last year because Bayer didn't play well in Philly.
He was on the team.
Yeah. He was the Super Bowl run. But signing Devin White's really good. But I don't see how Devin White plays without Levante David.
Yeah, that's
Levante David is like an all-pro linebacker.
He's really good. I'm not gonna. It's tough because I'm not what I understand how people have impact on other people, but I don't. He's really good. Like he's
really good, but it's the same thing how I feel.
Made him though. Like, you know what I mean?
I think he did.
Like,
the same way
I
I
don't
think
CJ
Mosley made Quincy Williams. I think
really?
Quincy Williams, when he got him, was just a fast thumper. He was just I'm gonna hit whatever's there, and whatever happens. He was a penalty. He was everything.
No, but I'm talking about. So the way I think of that is that the only reason that Q plays well is because CJ's behind him. That's the way I think of it.
I think Q
and I don't think that's
to the point mentally because of CJ.
Yes, but Q put in the work and Q makes those plays. He did,
but that is because of CJ.
Listen,
the same way I think
I
Devin
don't
White.
Give another man his like.
But you have to. That's how mentors work.
But you're taking
I'm not devaluing Quincy because Quincy became an All-Pro because he put in the work, right? But if CJ were to be gone, I'd be worried a little bit because not only is he the mentor and like, hey, it's just the safety net of having another All-Pro guy right next to you.
It helps.
It helps a lot, and then it's also like I don't have my security blanket, so now I have to be Levante David.
I just think he's good enough at this point in his career where he could go on his own.
Especially because he's got to play with Nakobe Dean, who gets hurt a lot, has a similar skill set. Is he ready to take that step to be the Levante David to his own Devin White? And that's where it's going to make a difference because you got these two guys in linebacker. Sideline to sideline, like 4-4 guys. 4-4. They have so much speed there.
Philly's defense is back. That's all I'm saying.
It's very fast. The corners worry me.
2 years.
The corners worry me. I think this is the better linebacker core they've had.
CJ will be good for 1 year. CJ will be good for 1 year.
Yeah, that's
giving him 3 years is wild to me.
Again, he's a safety. He'll be fine.
Giving him 3 years is wild.
He'll be fine. The key to this defense could be Bryce Huff. Your edge rusher is going to be the key to this defense.
And we will see if their offense is scoring 30 a game. Does it matter?
Well, yeah, because who's calling their offense?
Kellen Moore, who the last two quarterbacks under Kellen Moore have had the worst seasons of their career.
But the Cowboys, even with that, still led the league in offense. But I think that's more Dak Prescott than anything else.
Saquon Barkley is probably only going to get 14 rush attempts a game under Kellen Moore.
If you're the Eagles, if the Eagles already were mad that they weren't running the football last year, if you do this same thing and not use Saquon Barkley, because DeAndre Swift, despite what people think, had a really good year last year.
Really good year last year. I was sitting here pounding the table like Skip Bayless, asking why the Eagles aren't running the ball. It makes no sense why the Eagles aren't running the ball.
Kellen Moore, he doesn't do those design quarterback runs. And that's what also the Philly stopped doing last year, too. They only did a design run with quarterback draw, and everybody knew when it was coming. They stopped doing the quarterback powers and QB sweeps and all that shit last year.
And how is the tush push going to work without like the engine of the vehicle? Without Jason Kelsey, I'm very interested to see how that goes. But
Kellen Moore, like to throw the ball deep, and he likes to throw the ball at the sticks.
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown is about to eat. That's what it means.
It's either he's about to eat or he's going to fight Jalen Hurts. Those are your two options. If they don't like have an extremely like top 5 offense, you might as well just send Jalen Hurts to go work at a Wawa or something, because he can't earn that money and have these weapons.
Shout out to Wawa.
Go be a fucking clerk at Wawa. Like, that's what's gonna happen if he can't succeed with these weapons all up and down the offense.
But again,
he's got it.
But we're saying that, Dylan. But you just went on a whole rant about Kellen Moore. So
I know, and that's the problem.
Is it Jalen Hurts' fault if this offense don't click? Especially if they start doing the same.
If Jalen Hurts is bad in this offense, then we have to give Dak Prescott more credit than we've been giving him.
Well, I've been saying that.
No, like, I'm fine with Dak. Like, but you have to really be like, man, Dak really put up with this fucking asshole and still like had one of the best offenses in football.
That's why,
while also having one of his worst career years.
That's why seeing what Dak did last year just let me further know that Kellen Moore is an idiot. Which is why I don't understand how he got there.
Kellen Moore, he's freaking an MVP candidate. And Justin Herbert had the worst year of his career under Kellen Moore.
I don't know what Justin Herbert did to keep getting these dog shit offensive coordinators.
Well, he's not that guy, but
keep him coming. Keep him coming.
I know you're fine, but like, whether he's not that guy or not, you gotta fucking try to help him. And he just took away his 2 best weapons on top of it. So it's like,
you really about to see he's not that guy.
We're really about to see bad Herbert here.
They'll get neighbors.
Yeah, but even still, like, that's a rookie wide receiver. That's not Mike Williams. That's not Keenan Allen.
You also have to hope, okay, if he is what he is, we don't know. Like, we can say he's the best, but we still have to see it happen. Peter Ward was fucking legendary at FSU. NFL, he fucking
trash.
Peter Ward was like
one of the fucking man
in college football history. NFL,
trash,
awful.
Second contract.
Like, we got to see, and like that offense is just gonna be running the fucking ball. Those receivers are not gonna get open in that offense. Don't get me started on Greg Roman. Don't get me started on Greg Roman.
Jalen Hurts cannot have a bad. I don't give a fuck about Kellen Moore. Jalen Hurts is a bad year. He needs to get the fuck off that team.
Wawa.
You can't have a bad year in that offense. I'm sorry.
Do y'all like what Washington did? Because I really look at.
Yes.
I'm like,
I just don't care.
Like I'm the same way.
They signed a bunch of grandpas. Like,
they signed people to build a culture.
Yeah,
they did. Like, Dan Quinn's doing that thing where he went and got all of his guys to help establish himself as Washington Commanders, to try to get rid of the filth and the bad football over the last 5 years. Get rid of that. We're new.
Washington is the 3rd best team in the NFC East as of right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they addressed offensive line. They got dogs on defense. I know Bobby Wagner's old as fuck, but Frankie Louvu is also fucking like a motor on him. So I think those two are going to be fine. Cleveland Farrell, former Raider fucking bust. He stinks, but that's fine.
Dan Quinn will coach him up though.
Dan Quinn will get the most out of this defense.
So what?
Their sleeper signing is Jeremy Chin. I love Jeremy Chin.
I'm not familiar with his game.
Jeremy Chin is a dog. He's Derwin James light. Diet Derwin James. The problem is he can't stay healthy. That's why he got a $4 million fucking contract. But he's also
Eckler?
26 years old.
Eckler's 30, 31. And he's starting to head in the arrow down position.
Eckler got the, hey, you're our 3rd down back contract. Because they have, what's his face? Brian Robinson. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Robinson's great. Now you have Eckler, who as a running back isn't really a great running back, but is a really, really good receiving back.
They're
going to get his touchdowns, rushing the
It's
ball.
another weapon, yeah.
They're either getting Jaden Daniels or Caleb Williams, one or the other. Cliff Kingsbury's.
It's crazy that you say that, because after that conversation we just had earlier, they're still in the running for Caleb Williams. There is a possibility.
It all depends on what Chicago does. Chicago's going to set the tone of the draft. So, and Cliff Kingsbury as a head coach is not a good head coach. Cliff Kingsbury as an offensive coordinator is a great signing. That's why when
but his offense didn't really do it in Arizona, so now you're gonna have to figure out.
limited at quarterback, just a little bit.
You're gonna be limited here too.
See whenever whoever the rookie is, I don't think you start him, especially with Philly and Dallas in your division.
Let him sit behind Marcus. Marcus is a good vet.
Yeah, Marcus will quit.
Daniels is definitely starting.
Don't let him. We see all these quarterbacks come out and like we thrust them into situations.
Any quarterback that's a top, if you're drafted in the top 3 rounds, you're getting started. They're going to put you in there.
That's not necessarily true. That's not necessarily true. You don't need to.
If you throw him to
but they're going to do it.
And if he starts playing bad because the rest of your team sucks, then they'll be like, "Oh, it's a bust. It's a bust. It's a bust."
Listen, you saw how bad that Panthers team was last year. They're like, "No, Bryce Young, we drafted you to be our future. I don't care how bad our team is. You're going to be there day one starting."
Let them suck with Mariota, and then boom, you put freaking Caleb Williams or
Jalen Daniels. You protect the young kid. Let him see how the NFL is
there's no universe in which that's going to happen. Though.
No, there's very much so a universe where that could happen. It happens all the time. Tyrod won that job from Herbert. Like, Herbert was a top 5 pick. And he sat. Tua, top 5 pick. And they were benching him and flipping and flopping him.
Well, that's because Tua was staking. He was very inconsistent.
But, like, you want to protect these kids.
I still think he's inconsistent, to be honest.
Pat Mahomes sat for a fucking year. And there's everything.
Sit the kids. Let them go. Let them see how the offense is supposed to be run. You have
but we're talking about a top 1-2 quarterback selections, though. Like,
if the Panthers would have started Andy Dalton instead of Bryce Young,
they'd be in a much better place.
It'd be in a much better
place. Ran that offense much better than Bryce Young did.
Because then he's fucking. He gets to see how an NFL offense is ran and what he gets to see the field and learn.
Why don't all these NFL teams just watch what the Packers do? Why don't they just watch what Green Bay does?
Luck. You can't
emulate luck.
And we live in a microwave society, Anthony.
Yeah, like you can't emulate. Like teams aren't supposed to go from Hall of Fame quarterback to Hall of Fame quarterback to like really good quarterback. That doesn't happen.
Who could be a Hall of Famer?
Again, that's what I'm saying. Like I can't do that, but like he's really good. Like that succession 3 in a row, that doesn't happen. That's not supposed to happen.
It really is.
No, you got.
Yeah, I know. I'm a Raider fan. Of course, it's not supposed to happen.
It doesn't happen. Like you don't get the Montana to Steve Young. Like that doesn't happen all the time.
Like
Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck.
Oldest team in the league, and they've had the worst quarterbacks in their history of the franchise. The oldest team in the league, they've never had like a 3,000 yard or 4,000 yard passer.
Like I'm of the belief that it's like Marcus Mariota is good enough. If you have a playable team, let him rock. That's why Atlanta got rid of him because he was supposed to suck. They told him you're winning too much. You're fucking this up.
Yeah, exactly. You're messing this up right now.
You're fucking this up.
Go somewhere right now.
So it's like, all right, that just showed he could play. He could still play at a decent level. So you bring him in on a 1-year deal, mentor whoever you bring in, let him rock, and then if you're having a bad season, turn over the reins. Oh, Marcus Mariota's just bad. Turn over the reins.
Look who you got to play twice. It was like, are you going to beat those teams? Plus the rest.
They made some moves, man. Shout out to the Commanders. Dan Quinn's doing God
over
there.
To Steven's credit, is it enough to deal with Dallas and Philly twice a year?
No,
even though the Giants aren't really threatening on offense, the Giants have a scary good D line.
Defense is crazy.
And the Giants do that thing where they just know how to beat the Commanders every single year.
Yeah, but that offense is fucking horrendous.
Yeah,
they still know how to beat the Commanders every year.
Yeah, but not with this. They at least Saquon Barkley.
Devin Singletary's not awful, but he's not Saquon Barkley.
He's not Saquon Barkley. Isaiah McKenzie also isn't very good.
the Giants have decided that they're going to win games with defense now because the Giants
decided they're going to be the Jets of last year.
The Giants defense is really good all of a sudden. Like, it's really good.
But
like,
who
that's
the
a top
hell
10
do they have
defense.
on offense?
Terrible.
They have nobody on offense. They are done with Daniel.
They downgraded at running back.
They're trying to get JJ McCarthy.
Didn't get better.
They just upgraded their defense. Like, they did the thing like you're supposed to do, but offensively, Giants fans are going to feel how I felt with Zach Wilson. We can't score we can't score points. The defense will be like, cool, just score 20. If you can score 20, we can win any game.
Well, if Hyatt takes that next step, next progression.
Hyatt was my favorite wide receiver out of last year's draft. He can't get on the field.
He don't need to take it, even if he does take the next step. The quarterback.
Yeah, Daniel Jones stinks.
So does Drew.
The
Giants.
Is funny to me.
Drew Lock takes over as starter week 7
because the Giants are allergic to black quarterbacks.
You know, it's crazy. That's not even a hot take because I can see that happening.
Daniel Jones is getting benched. Daboll hates Daniel Jones.
Daboll hates Daniel Jones. He's coaching for his job.
I hate Daniel.
Daboll is coaching for his job.
And Daniel Jones is after
Which
this.
He shouldn't be.
Guaranteed money.
He really shouldn't be.
Again, everything's a vacuum. You went from the playoffs to an easy schedule, and then Daniel Jones came in the next year after getting his contract and was fucking bad, and then got hurt. The offensive line was Swiss cheese. Defense didn't show up. Like, the team overachieved and then came back to earth real quick. So then your division is still really fucking good. You guys didn't get better on offense at all. When I say you guys, I mean the Giants, not you, Anthony. They didn't take any steps in the right direction. They took steps as in, we're going to try to have a top 5 pick again next year. And if that happens, Daboll's gone. Because the Maras aren't going to sit there and be like, you gave us a playoff appearance on a 500 record because they had the tie. Yeah, and then you won a game and now you stink.
Yeah, that first season for Daboll really fucked him over. It
was a fluke.
But can you see the Giants? I mean, going anything other than last this year, to be honest.
In the division?
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
Big.
If their over under was 4.5, I'd take the under.
Because it's.
And the only reason I'm not like the defense will win them 4 games. The defense will win them 4 games. They'll have a game where they just have to score 10 points. The same way the Jets had games where all they had to do was score 10 points and they win. Because that defensive line is ridiculous. Ridiculous. And those young boys at corner that they have there are good. They are good. The weakness of that Giants defense is the linebacking core. But even still, Bobby Okereke is solid. So, good luck, G-men. Fucking dorks.
You're a hater.
Enjoy JJ McCarthy.
Just keep punting the ball so you get to see their offense on the field.
You should enjoy JJ.
Shout out to my dear friend Tatiana, because she has been posting some hilarious reels since Saquon left, and I have been dying of laughter ever since.
Tiki Barber is also an asshole.
He is. I was just about to say that. That was so random. I thought that was fake when I saw that shit. Like,
I didn't, because I know Tiki Barber. Since Tiki Barber has moved into media, even though he was before he left, he's a troll and he's a clown. He's a troll and he's a clown. And he's a hypocrite because, outside of Giant fans, because Tiki Barber faded into oblivion. Do you know where Tiki Barber ended his career, Anthony?
No.
The Washington Redskins.
So what the fuck is he getting on Saquon?
Exactly, Anthony. Exactly.
That as a joke.
No, don't you give him a cop out, Steven. Don't you give him. He was dead serious. Once a Giant, always a Giant. You're dead to me now. The Giants haven't even put you in the Ring of Honor.
The Eagles
your ass down.
Biggest rival.
You're not even the better.
Like they weren't trying to pay.
Your brother's better than you.
way better.
They weren't trying to pay him. What the fuck you expect him to do?
The Giants were trying to get me like, hey, Saquon, you want to be a Giant for a bag of chips?
The
That's
worst part about it
Yeah.
is he wasn't trying to pay him, and he quintessentially took less money to play with the Eagles.
Literally, all the Giants had to do was just franchise tag Daniel Jones last year.
Exactly.
That's all they had to do, and they gave him that big ass contract.
But this is why you don't overreact after 1 year when you have 4 years total of what a guy is. You can't let 1 year be the reason you pay a guy.
Daniel Jones gets cut at the end of the year because
Absolutely.
this is last year's guaranteed money. They have no guaranteed money
unless he balls out. Unless there's a world where he balls out. Like
I have 5 years of evidence says he's not.
Yeah,
he
has
did
1 year
that contract year. He did play well.
But again, that's why you can't pay a guy.
He didn't play well that 1 year.
That's why you can't pay a guy off 1 year. You franchise tag him, say do it again.
No, I agree.
But
Definitely
there's a lot of
agree on
people
that.
who are saying you had to pay Daniel Jones. I'm like, no, the fuck you don't.
You definitely did not have to pay Daniel Jones.
No, you don't. As much as I love Sam Darnold and still think Sam Darnold's the girlfriend that got away because we fucked him up, the end of that last year with Sam Darnold was awesome. And then you hit that thing where it's like, well, do you sign him because he had the end of his year was really good, or do you let him walk to reset the market? As much as I love Sam Darnold, you can't sign him based off of 1 year of performance. You got to let him walk. I still hope Sam Darnold comes back one day. Like, I wanted us to sign him to be our backup because I still believe.
I think the Vikings were smart for letting Cousins go.
Well, I don't want to pay him fucking the amount of money that they saved or were able to use to sign all of this.
Oh, they're taking quarterback in the draft. It's either going to be Penix, JJ McCarthy, or freaking.
I think it's going to be Bo Nix.
Probably it should be Penix. That's why you signed Sam Darnold. You only signed Sam Darnold for him to, start the season.
Again, where are the Vikings picking? 16?
Who should it be, Steven?
What? No, I'm saying they're probably taking freaking. They're either going to look at Michael Penix, Bo Nix, or JJ McCarthy.
Who would you take out of those three?
I would
Penix.
Penix. But the only problem is the thing that hurt Michael Penix is because he's injury prone. And this year was the only year in college that he stayed healthy, and then he got hurt in the final game.
And he stares down the right side of the field.
If that was Dylan's argument against him, I would be fine with that. I can't argue that.
I don't like to hold that against people, the injuries.
I
know, don't do that. Don't do that.
And I'm going to sit here.
Don't do that. I never said that. Don't
go
ahead. No, I have questions about Michael Penix the same way I have questions about everybody. It's not a matter of I don't think Penix is good. I just don't think Penix is ready to be a starter right now. There's questions that I have. I watched a lot of Michael Penix this year. He stares the fuck out of the right side of the field. He only plays one side of the field. He doesn't control the middle, and then when he throws the left, it's only like 2-step drop, I'm throwing. Like, it's just design plays. So, like, those are my questions about Penix. I wouldn't get mad at anybody taking Penix. It just has to be the right situation. If the Raiders took Penix, I'd be like, that's not great. I'm not taking him. Like, that's the wrong pick. I'm not doing that.
Vikings have like the 12th pick.
No, I got it. Vikings have 11.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad at all. You probably the way the draft is, that they might be able to, if they like Drake May, they could probably get him at 11. But Drake May stinks.
Drake May stinks.
Yeah, because
don't worry, I think Michael Penix is better than Drake May.
I do not like Bo Nix. That's my.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I like Bo Nix.
I know. That's who me and Dylan. You guys on here will see me and Dylan arguing all next season because I think Michael is better than Bo Nix.
He is.
I think they both are on the same tier of quarterback to me. They both need to be in the right situation. And if they both find themselves in a situation where they're backing up a good quarterback, they'll both be fine for the years going forward. Bo Nix, I think, sees the field a little better.
I think he's overrated.
Bo Nix, yeah.
Bo Nix saved his career going to Oregon.
Yeah, he saved his career because he was in the playing real NFL defenses.
Hey, listen, Pac-12 was the best conference of football this year, and Bo Nix balled.
Still don't have the freaking depth. Well, a lot of Bo Nix throws are behind the line of scrimmage.
Listen, those quarterbacks succeed in the NFL. Those quarterbacks succeed in the NFL. One of them got to the fucking Super Bowl.
But they didn't say, yeah, Purdy didn't go no first round, though.
He did not. But free agency has been crazy, and there's still a lot of people left.
Atlanta
running backs?
Those dirty birds, man.
Kirk
Can we
Cousins
say it?
outside
Can we say it?
Dirty Birds. They're winning the South.
No. Oh, okay. There we go. That's what I want.
Dirty Birds. They're winning the South. Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins is such a dramatic upgrade at quarterback for what they had.
Outside of Christian Wilkins going to the Raiders, this is the best move in free agency.
The only thing is it's Kirk Cousins and he's 36 coming off an Achilles injury.
Yeah, I wouldn't say this is the best move. I would say the Ridley move was
This is the biggest swing. This is the single biggest swing.
They literally...
But it's not a sure thing, though.
It's not a sure thing.
We're still talking about a 36-year-old Cousins off an Achilles tear.
It's
Cousins
still
will be back.
From what they had. They were quarterback away from winning a lot of games. They could have been in the playoffs. They could have won that division if they had a competent quarterback.
Cousins also isn't mobile to begin with.
And a play caller that get their stars the ball.
Yeah, like Kirk Cousins isn't mobile to begin with. He'll be fine by the time training camp starts. If he's anything, like he's got more help than I do as far as resources for his Achilles. And I'm already doing shit. Like I've been doing shit for 2 months and I'm approaching month 8. This is month 8 now.
He'll be coming to Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, and fucking Drake London.
Like, and Darnell Mooney and Rondale Moore. Like, they have weapons. They have weapons. So, like, this is the biggest swing that you're going to get. Like, you add 4 or 5 wins to their win total last year. There you go.
That's a lot. But
if you think about it, they're better than every team in the South.
Mike, I watch a lot of Falcons games. Ritter cost them a lot of games that they should have won.
I'm not arguing that. I just think 4 or 5.
Well, depends. That might be depends. How many games did they win? 6?
6 or 7. Like 4 or 5 is giving them 12, 13 wins. They're not winning.
I think the Falcons won 7 games.
That's 10, Mike.
4.
Falcons won 7 games.
If they won 7, 4 is giving them 11.
That's not bad. That's not outside of the realm of possibility.
12 is 13.
If they won 8, I don't think they won 8 games. So
there was a game where they had the game won until Ritter threw the ball late, pick 6, and threw the ball right back to him.
It's a great pick. They will win the South.
And getting 4 wins from 6, that's what you expect out of a playoff team, right?
I just want to say shout out Kirk Cousins' agent because
Kirk Cousins,
the greatest agent of all time.
The way that man manipulated the system to get, because I'm counting that franchise tag because he got a bag that he wasn't supposed to get then. So to get that bag, then to get the Vikings bag, then to get this Falcons bag, like Kirk Cousins is going to end up making almost $400 million in his career.
You know what this does?
It's 1 playoff win.
You know what this does for all the other quarterbacks? Dak Prescott's going to be the highest paid quarterback in NFL history because of that Kirk Cousins contract.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it goes. But again, his agent is so good at manipulating other teams into thinking like, I have another offer. He did to the Jets when he went to Minnesota. Used Minnesota to get this deal in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Like, agent's a G, man.
Kirk Cousins has made $281 million before this contract. He's in his career.
Halfway to $500 million in his career. And he has told
one
every single team
playoff win.
And he has told every single team he's played for that he wants to retire as a member of their team.
That's probably what his agent told.
He said, it's him. He said, I want to retire a Redskin. I want to retire a Viking. And then today he said, I want to retire a Falcon.
He definitely said he wanted to retire a Viking, but I believed him.
It probably was genuine at the time, but I mean, what you gonna do when a team is willing to pay you all that
$180 million contract? I want to retire there too. I'll retire. I'll retire anywhere if you're sending me that much money.
I'll retire from this podcast tomorrow if you want to send me 4-year 180. I'll
retire in fucking Salt Lake City, Utah. If that's who's paying me.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Nah.
I don't know, Anthony.
180.
Hop on a plane in a minute.
There ain't much to do in Utah, man.
I'll stay home.
Look at this.
Stay home.
Yeah, you guys will be bored. No, didn't you hear what Donovan said about Utah, man? There ain't much to do up there, man.
What's up, Steven?
Guaranteed $150 million.
Yeah,
$50 million for just writing his name down.
I'll live wherever you want me to live in the country. Let me preface that, in the country.
Y'all bugging. Y'all need to go look at what Utah is like, man.
I don't know. Fuck. You need to look at what $150 million in your bank account looks like, broke boy.
But you gotta live in Utah for the rest of your life.
Listen, you won't be seeing me at no clubs because Utah's a dry state, but you'll be seeing me at the bank. That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
I'll be shipping liquor in. I'll have my own liquor store in my house.
You guys want to come hang out? Come hang out the crib. Come hang out the crib.
Open bar.
Open bar. This is a speakeasy.
I'm like, do they even have clubs in Utah? Like,
it's an open bar for everybody in the bar.
Yeah, hit with that secret knock.
Hit me with that ginger ale. Ginger ale for everybody.
Have the door that has the eye slots. Fucking prohibition all over again.
All right, guys. We have exceeded our limit.
We had to.
About like 40 minutes.
We had to. It's too much.
I don't even know how much basketball y'all want to talk. I do want to talk about this LSU South Carolina incident.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you want to go to the NBA first.
Let's do the NBA first. We can save the college stuff for last because we're approaching March Madness.
It's gonna be fun. I've got to get the music. When we come on the air next week, ladies and gentlemen, I'll have the music.
Can we get one shining moment on here too?
Do that for the victory. For the victory. I don't know how much we could play, but we'll
we need that. We need that for whoever finishes last place. Mike, it be you. You've come in last place, so you can't outwardly call out something.
Right, you can't point at me when you come in last place too, Mike.
I didn't come in last place. You came in last place.
No, the year before. The
year before you came in last place.
So you cannot point out another man for finishing last place when you are also, in fact, a loser.
It will not happen this year. It will not happen this year.
Remember, Anthony, remember last year when Mike was guaranteeing victory?
and I did it.
Did not win.
So we'll handle this in the group chat because once again, bracket B beat all of y'all. And
who cares?
See, that's the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem.
You submit the wrong bracket.
Bracket B beat all of y'all.
You know who won? This guy.
Don't get credit for it, but we're fine. Whatever. Let's go to the NBA. Who you bring up? The Lakers losing. That's I wanted to talk about Anthony Davis not being
Anthony Davis getting owned by DeMontis Sabonis.
Can't beat him. 0-10 in his career. I didn't realize it was that bad.
I also didn't.
Because I knew that the Kings had been beating them lately, but I didn't realize it's 10 and however you want to say it, 0-10, 10-0. He owns him. And I mean it's not even that the Kings win. Like he outplays Anthony Davis every single time.
It's like bad.
0-10 against Sabonis, like what? 1-7 against Embiid, and then Joker just.
Joker owns him too.
we'll keep Embiid out of it, but clearly it seems like if you are of European descent and over 6'10", Anthony Davis can do nothing with you. He can do absolutely nothing with you. So,
Are you telling me Anthony Davis is a xenophobe and he wants all the Euros out of the United States?
I don't know how we would qualify it, because it's not like he's trying. Like, they're just outplaying him.
They're
like,
just cooking him
every time. So it's not nothing he's doing. They're just cooking him every time. He sees them and they just cook him. They make him. The thing that's troubling about the Sabonis thing is Sabonis is bullying him. Sabonis is muscling him and just telling him, get out of the way. You're too small.
Mm-hmm.
And that's crazy to me. But the Kings are James's former team that he doesn't acknowledge anymore because he doesn't care.
Magic 45.
Magic 45.
That's all he cares about. Until the Magic, we'll see where he has when the Magic and the Knicks play in the first round, and then
It'll be over because the Magic.
Then all of a sudden it'll be, get these bums out of here. They stink.
Listen, he's just rooting for the number, and then they hit the number, then you move on.
Fake, fickle is the word. But
speaking of Knicks, we are beating the brakes off the Trailblazers right now.
Yeah,
Trailblazers
I know.
Stink.
They do stink, Dylan.
They're terrible.
Chauncey's gonna get fired.
Hey, West Coast trips are not easy, right? I'll take those days.
Well, West Coast trips are easy when you play teams like the Grizzlies, Trailblazers, Spurs.
Yeah, I'll take that.
So after the Trailblazers, we have to go to Sacramento and then Golden State after, and then Denver after.
Those are what you call good teams.
It's a tough trip.
Those are what you call good basketball teams.
This is the layup on the trip, and the Knicks are doing what they're supposed to because this is the layup.
Yeah, you're supposed to beat the fucking horrible team.
But you know what? I'll be honest with you, they're supposed to beat Golden State too because they're shaking. They're still trying to get Steph kind of.
Steph is Steph's gonna cook whoever's in front of him.
Well, we'll see how he plays on Saturday.
Yeah, we'll see how he moves.
But. Anyway,
we can go at least 2-2.
My point to all of this was, I think, as I always say, styles make fights in the West. And what are the matchups that I don't think I love OKC. I don't think, as much as we're shitting on the Lakers, OKC doesn't want to see the Lakers. They can say what they want. They don't want to see them. They're too
big. Lakers are just too big.
They don't want to see them. I don't think Denver wants to see the Clippers. No, not the Clippers. Phoenix. Excuse me. Let me not mistake.
I think they do.
You think they do? I don't think, because I think Denver's going to cook the Clippers. But Phoenix, I don't think
the otherwise. I think they're going to cook Phoenix.
I think Phoenix is not what they want to see. Who do we think matches up well with Minnesota without Cat? Is it just
anybody?
See, I don't
anybody.
know. I don't know.
Give me the field.
I don't know.
I don't think the Pelicans want to see them.
Yeah,
the Pelicans are the team I don't think want to see Minnesota. They're the one team where it's like, nope.
I don't know if Sacramento wants to see Minnesota either.
I think Dallas wants to see Minnesota. Dallas wants Minnesota.
I think Dallas wants Phoenix. That's what I think Dallas wants.
Well, that's because the blood feud of Devin Booker.
But that'll be a fun ass series, though. I want to see that shit
because Luka and Devin Booker fucking hate each other. So it's like, that's great. That makes for great TV.
And then you have Kyrie and Kevin Durant, which also is fun.
Which is also like a very
going back to Minnesota. They say Cat is progressing. They say Cat
is meniscus.
He's not going to play in the first. Let me tell you, he's not going to play.
If he does play, he's going to be a shell of himself.
Let me tell you, he's not going to play in a few weeks.
But I think Minnesota's going to at least carry them through a first round.
First-hand experience. He ain't playing in.
We've seen Rudy Gobert teams get bumped out of the first round real quick because you could expose the type of defense he plays.
But you still got Anthony Edwards, man, who's arguably at this point being near the face of this league. Arguably.
He'd have to have a crazy playoffs. If he has a crazy playoffs, then he could be Dylan.
Adam
Silver had a crazy playoffs last year.
No, he was too inconsistent last year.
No. And they played 5 games. They played 5 games, Anthony. You got one game.
And he was
the reason why they got that one game.
Yeah, and then he shot 3 for fucking 40 the next game.
I sat here and told you they had no chance against Denver, and they've got a chance. They had no chance in hell of beating Denver. Just like this year, they have no chance in hell of beating Denver. I can tell you that the only team that's going to beat Denver is either Phoenix or maybe Sacramento. I like that Sacramento. I like that Sacramento.
What?
Team. I like that Sacramento team. I like
Beating Denver?
I like the way they match up with Denver. I like the way they match up with Denver. They're one of the few teams that can keep up speed wise with them. I really think Sacramento could be an interesting matchup for them. Now, I'm not going to predict it, but listen, that's a tough series for them. But it probably won't happen. Well, who knows? The West is too scrambled anyway, but that's it because I don't think the Clippers can beat them. I do think Phoenix can, contrary to
I don't think any team besides the Lakers can beat them.
And I don't know if the Lakers can beat them. They beat the Lakers every time.
They beat the Lakers last year, but every game was close.
And every game this year has been
That's
close.
why it's like
But the same thing happens every time, Dylan. The same thing happens every time.
But I don't
the
think any
Lakers
other team in the West plays them close.
The Lakers played them close.
It's not like the script changes.
And then the Denver wins. The fourth quarter comes and Denver wins.
Close. They still got swept.
Yeah,
exactly.
but I don't think many of these other teams can play them close.
Phoenix can definitely play them.
I think defensively, when you allow them to play more physically, Phoenix is going to struggle. We saw Kevin Durant get fucking suplexed by Grant Williams and taken him out of the playoff series before.
Who
right?
is Grant Williams on that team?
Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon is not a dirty player.
No, but like he'll play physical. You play physical with KD on the catch, you provide a problem.
He's dirty though.
No, but we're not doing dirty. I'm just saying style of defense, right? You play KD on the catch physical, it makes life really difficult for him because you don't allow him to get set. And then he has to move and he turns over the ball a lot. So I have those are my critiques for Kevin Durant when he was on Brooklyn.
Never.
You played him on the catch, he gets reckless with the ball because he can't set himself up. You take away his airspace, you force him to either A, shoot a fadeaway jumper, or he's got to pass it. He stares at a guy, pass the ball to the top of the key, pick, cookies, layup. That's just how it goes. And Denver's built for that. So that's why, and I still don't know who's playing defense for Phoenix besides Royce O'Neal. So like I don't know. That's why. And
Booker plays okay defense. He plays okay. Don't say he's a cone.
I'm not going to critique him. He's going to play as good of a defense as he needs to because he's also going to be needing to score so much because Jokic is going to have his way.
I don't know.
And then when Jokic starts having
for him for some reason, I don't know what it is.
When Jokic is having his way, then you have to collapse on him, and then he gets the ball to KCP. Then he gets the ball to Michael Porter Jr. Then he gets the ball to this guy. And it's your pick and it's pick and poison, and you're dying because regardless of how you're picking it, you're still getting poisoned.
And then Jamal Murray drops like 30.
And then Jamal Murray scores fucking 50 on top of it.
Yeah.
And then they're not only scoring at a high clip, they're also scoring at a high efficiency because they're not fucking missing.
Do you think the Clippers, if they get healthy, because they'll get Russ back in a few weeks? I don't know.
I think Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Kawhi.
What do you mean? Yeah, he's doing that thing where he gets hurt.
Thoracic spasm, which
I don't even know what that means.
It's back spasms. That's all they had to say was back spasms.
God, I had that the other day. Happened to me at work, and I wanted to crawl on the floor and die.
Well, that's what Kawhi got it.
Oh, I was talking to somebody, and then it started happening. I was like, oh.
When you get back spasms, you can't move. You can't. Nope. You cannot move. Nope. It's terrible. I've had them. It's terrible.
Not great. Shout out to Ben Simmons. Had successful surgery today.
If the Clippers are healthy, how far do you give them?
Until they meet Denver.
This man won't put.
They can't beat. I don't think they can beat Denver. Me, Dylan, and James had a whole argument, like opening night. Not opening night. It was around this. It was in December because they had Harden. But we had a whole argument about this where James was swearing up and down that the Clippers can beat them. They cannot beat them. They're too
the Clippers can absolutely beat Denver.
They cannot beat them, Anthony.
No.
And the Clippers also cannot beat the Lakers. They can't beat the Lakers.
A fully healthy Clippers team
I think
is
the
beating
Clippers
Denver.
can beat the Lakers.
I don't think they could beat the Lakers either.
No, the
I
Clippers
think
could. A fully healthy Clippers team losing to the Lakers?
Because as much
What?
as we get on Anthony Davis, the Clippers have nothing for him. Nothing.
Okay, but let's flip the table. Who the Lakers got for all them people on the Clippers?
Exactly.
James Harden is going to disappear. They're going to
James
have
Harden
to
is their fucking third
Well,
option.
They're going to have to do something with Paul George. You're right.
He can afford to
But
disappear.
think about that. James Harden is a third option. Think about
This is
that.
the role James Harden was born to play.
It is.
Yeah.
Because he's going to score
G in the playoffs. That's the Clippers' only fucking problem.
If they can
What?
have them both, and then James Harden just
Kawhi
is
in the playoffs.
yeah. If you can have them both, and James Harden gets to be like, hey, I could get away with scoring 10
and hit a big three in the fourth quarter and then run up the
while
court.
also having like 11 assists.
Playoffs.
Like this is the role he was built to play. So it's like you could afford to have him do that because then you got Russ off the bench who's gonna do his fucking playoff thing where he plays hard.
Do his thing.
Where it's like I think the Clippers can beat anybody in the West except for Denver.
I think the Clippers are a team. I think the Lakers could beat Denver. Well, actually, I don't think they could beat Denver. I think they could beat the Clippers. They could beat Dallas. They could beat OKC. They can't beat Sacramento. I don't know.
Sacramento's gonna be a tough one.
They can't beat Sacramento.
Unless they can control the pace. If they control the pace against Sacramento, that series is over.
I think they can beat Dallas, but I don't know. Dallas will be tricky for the Lakers. The Lakers.
Oh, the Lakers?
I don't know.
No, they can. Dallas isn't ready for that.
Maybe
Dallas not ready for that.
And then who
Again,
else?
I would pick the Lakers over the Mavericks.
Defense. Luka's going to be taking.
Luka doesn't play defense.
Like you need to play defense in playoffs. If the Mavericks somehow met the Suns in the first round, that would be like holy shit. Like I think the Dallas can get out. I don't think Dallas gets out of the first round unless they play like OKC.
Dallas is a dangerous team because if Dallas is hitting their threes, they're going to beat anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody, including Denver. If Dallas is hitting shots, they are very tough to beat.
Yeah, but they take too many tough shots.
But my point, if they're making their shots, which they're one of those, this is how you know that they're an immature team. When they start scoring, then they decide to play defense. So if they're making shots, then their defense gets better. And then because what you don't want is to be all Dallas wants is to be in a close game. Because if Dallas is in a close game with you, you're in trouble. Because Luka and Kyrie
Luka's going to make anything.
Luka and Kyrie are going to break your heart. You have to blow them. That's the only thing with Dallas. You have to blow them out because if you're in a close game with them, you're in trouble. You're in trouble because Luka or Kyrie's going to hurt your. They're going to hurt your feelings. They're going to hurt your feelings. I promise you, they're going to hurt your feelings. And I don't care who it is: Denver, OKC, Minnesota, Boston, Miami. Line them all up. Luka's going to hurt your feelings.
I watched Luka make a fucking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar skyhook from 35 feet at the fucking buzzer with 45 seconds left in a game against the Nets when we were winning. That shot took the lead and was the game winner. And I'm just like... and it was well defended. Dorian Finney-Smith's in his face like this, and Luka said, Kareem!
Swish.
And I was just like, nothing more you can do.
So
some guys are just meant to make shots.
That's why I'm going to give Dallas a fighting chance. And it depends because if it's not a team that scores a lot of points that runs up and down, Dallas is going to be in that series.
Dallas can beat Phoenix. Dallas can beat New Orleans. And Minnesota. Minnesota at any point's a first round exit. I don't care who the fuck Minnesota's playing. They're a first round exit. I don't care about Anthony Edwards. You have to get a consistent 15 to 20 from somebody else on that team.
Minnesota would face Sacramento right now.
And they would lose.
Yeah, I probably would take Sacramento.
Yeah, they would lose.
They would promptly get dog walked.
Dallas would face OKC.
Dallas could win that series.
Both of them could win that series. OKC could win that series, but Dallas could win.
I'd probably take Dallas.
I would take OKC in that series because
they have home court.
Dort and Shai on the defensive side are something crazy.
Tell
So
you, Kyrie,
Ain't nobody stopping
Kyrie
Luka.
doesn't give a fuck about your feelings.
Kyrie's a
That's
bad boy.
I'm
No,
telling
and
you.
Luka really don't give a
And
fuck about your
the
feelings.
only other thing I will say, and I'm not trying to be facetious here, is we're due for a Kyrie Irving moment.
He's had
Not a
two
good
bad-
moment.
Well,
We're due for something.
Oh,
Dylan, let's not do this.
Listen, we're not due for an injury, but we're due for something.
He just came back from injury.
I know. We're due for a moment. We haven't had one this year.
He's been very quiet, but
Can we not have one this year?
I would love for her to not have one.
Kyrie's first full year with teams are usually pretty clean.
It's next year that something's going to happen.
We're
And it-
usually
and-
pretty clean,
and
and it's
it-
probably
and it
involved
could
him
hap-
and Jason Kidd.
And it could happen because, leadership in this country could foresee this country being in flames this next year. So
Because RFK and Aaron Rodgers could be president and vice president of the United States.
could be.
I'll kill myself live on
So
air.
I don't know.
Kill myself live on air.
I mean, it's all trolling because it's not going to get far. What happened?
as I put the suicide awareness help number on the screen right now.
I was threatening to commit harm because we traded for a guy who was on our team 2 years ago. Imagine if my quarterback becomes the vice president of the United States.
You're also insane.
I might be. It's because I care.
He's not gonna. It's not gonna get anywhere though. RFK is not.
Yeah, Rodgers
But
is
the fact
a
that
little
we're
weird.
here- The fact that we're here at this point, that this is a possibility, is enough for me, the guy who fucking despises Aaron Rodgers, is enough for me to be like, listen, this is going to happen. He's going to go on the campaign trail and miss out on training camp.
So this would be so wild. This would be the craziest thing I've ever seen.
And then we'll sell merch that says the most Jet thing of all time. Because it would in fact be the most, like, you couldn't make this up. You could only say that this happens to the Jets and the Jets only. I'm getting mad at just the idea.
And is the East the Boston Invitational? Because at this point, I kind of feel like it's the Boston Invitational.
It's going to end up being like Boston, Milwaukee, unless Milwaukee just throws it away, which they probably are going to.
Well, you hate Giannis, so you're
No, but it's not even because of Giannis. This team as a whole
It's
has
better.
fucked up, like, waiting to happen. I fully expect them to fuck something up. And I fully am prepared to just throw Doc Rivers under the bus.
How is the Bucks and Doc Rivers gonna blow the series in the playoffs?
Exactly. I don't think it's going to be because of Giannis, as much as a Giannis hater I am, because Giannis in the playoffs plays hard and Dame in the playoffs play hard. It's going to be something out of their control that's going to fuck up the series in some way, shape, or form.
Bobby Portis is going to get injured or something.
Bobby Portis is going to punch fucking some ref in the face. And it's going to be because of something Doc Rivers did. Like, I'm full.
I know, man.
I just don't trust them. I don't trust them.
Yeah, but can you trust Boston though?
Yeah.
History says you can't really trust them like that.
Yeah, but Boston's getting to that point where they're kind of like Denver, where they're waiting for a reason to turn it on. And when they turn it on, they fucking turn it on.
It looks
And
crazy.
there's nobody better. Mike, let some stats out before you got here. Where it's like the first and threes, the first and 3%, the first 3-pointers made, the first and here and here and here and here and here and all these categories. And it's like, yeah, it fucking makes sense. When you're going a 50 to fucking 10 run against the Warriors,
wild on national TV.
on national TV, you just beat a team by 50. That, like, I don't care what team it is. You're in the NBA.
But the Warriors were playing good. The Warriors were cooking.
And it's not like they're playing the fucking Spurs. Like, they're playing the Warriors.
Thanks,
Like,
Matt. Can't wait for your Will Smith.
Yeah, can't wait for yours too, fucker. But, like, the Celtics team, they take games off, but then something clicks. and then they just look like the best team in basketball. Joe Mazzulla, as a coach, has evolved and grown and kind of found his niche. Definitely helps.
His niche is he has a good GM that just put an insane amount of talent around him.
Yeah,
I
but
could coach that.
he hasn't fucked
Boston
it up
team.
because last year Joe Mazzulla was fucking up a lot.
He was.
This year, not so much. He's definitely found his voice. It's still gonna be up for debate until he gets to the playoffs and has to make some big decisions. But there's a lot of talent on that team. Even if there's talent, it still takes a special type of person to be able to coach talent and still be heard. And I think the biggest thing for Missoula was getting rid of Marcus Smart.
Marcus Smart called him a fucking idiot. That's right.
I don't think Missoula truly had a voice because Marcus Smart's voice in the organization was so loud.
Because he would call him an idiot.
Even when he's not being an idiot.
Yeah, he put too much trust in Marcus Smart. He was afraid to bench him last year
when he needed to be benched. When Derek White was balling.
He's also Derek White
also is sneaky one of the best players in basketball.
I wouldn't go that far.
Not top superstar, but production wise for minutes and what he does, he is one of the single best most impactful basketball players in the world.
A lot of if he doesn't play well, they're going to be in trouble.
They're struggling because he's their engine. He's not the engine. He's the heartbeat. He's the heartbeat of that team.
He might be the heartbeat of the team. Yeah, I'll give you that.
He's the heartbeat of that team.
Jason Tatum is the engine.
Jason Tatum needs to learn how to grow up in those big moments.
They will not win if he does not play well over the course of a series. You think about every series,
he doesn't play well.
Every series that they've lost, he hasn't played well. You can just literally go
because he's mentally soft.
I don't know if he's soft.
Tatum is soft.
I mean,
the moment gets to him. It does.
I'm not gonna argue. I'm not. I disagree.
The moment gets to him. I think Jaylen Brown is more mentally tough than Tatum is. It's just Jaylen Brown doesn't have that same skill set as Tatum because Tatum is a bag, and Jaylen Brown still can't go left.
Jaylen Brown's got that dog in him, though.
He does.
Listen, I'm looking at the standings right now. I see the Heat doing that thing where they're kind of hovering around that 8th spot, and until they get taken out.
Don't let that Heat culture myth fool you, Anthony.
They stink.
You know my favorite phrase, right, Anthony? You're not that guy. Sure. The Heat is not this team. They're not that guy this year.
But guys, don't you think people were saying this around this time last year?
They're not that guy.
They were a better team last year than they are this year.
I can't wait for that shit to. Oh, finally, Heat culture is dead. I can't wait.
Well,
it's a lie.
You'll be waiting a long time for that. But
what's the short-term memory about playoff Jimmy Butler? What are we doing here?
Jimmy Butler's a real thing.
Jimmy's him. But there's nothing else there. Bam disappears.
But Bam does show up sometimes too, and he plays big.
He's inconsistent. Inconsistent.
It seems like whenever Jimmy's not on, then Bam goes, "Uh-oh, let me do something then." Bam is passive. That's what it is. He's passive, and then if Jimmy's not on, he'll turn it up. And it's like if you play like that the whole game, we'd be all right. But you only in the finals when Jimmy was clearly compromised. And you're playing Joker, all of a sudden, Bam is throwing up triple doubles. Wait a minute.
Tyler Hero will be a difference in the series, but he doesn't play defense. And the X factor is Terry Rozier.
Yes, that's the key because he's been god awful.
Yeah, I wasn't crazy about that trade either.
I wasn't either. But their problem is going to be they don't score enough points. So it's going to depend on who they play. It doesn't even matter who they play because they don't score enough points. They're not the only thing they have going for them is they're not afraid of Boston. That's the only thing that they have. They're not afraid of Boston. They're not afraid to go to Boston. They don't care about that. That won't bother them. The problem is they're just not they're not good enough.
And Boston can throw 6 different bodies at Jimmy.
And they don't have
That's the
nothing
problem.
and they don't have nothing for Porzingis.
Because you could literally go 1 through 4. Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Derek White.
They all will guard Jimmy.
They all will just be, all right, my turn.
And Jimmy can't guard all of them. That's the problem. Jimmy can't, because one of them is cooking Tyler Hero. One of them's cooking. So you pick your poison. One of them's cooking him.
And Tyler Hero never shows up for the playoffs anyway.
He's always hurt. He just falls
He
apart.
was hurt. Like, I think he just got hurt again, actually.
His rookie year, he played well. But again, I'm not expecting that.
And Jaime, like, what is he supposed to do?
Jaime Jaquez,
what is he supposed to? He's going to get cooked in the playoffs. But you imagine him trying to play Jason Tatum in the playoffs? Come on.
But again, the Heat didn't play that well last season and either, though.
Yeah, but
I remember a lot of people were talking about how bad or how mid the Heat were during the season last year. Look at the record. They're 35 and 38th place. They're about the same, damn near identical to last year. What's changed?
I know this is it's gonna sound like hate, but if Giannis doesn't hurt himself, they don't beat Milwaukee.
Yeah.
If Julius Randle isn't hurt, they don't beat the Knicks. They should have blown.
Julius Randle.
You didn't give Dylan that same credence though. Like you can't do the what if thing. Like,
but
at the end of the day,
all of that is.
And if we're being real here, Giannis choked. I don't want to hear none of that. He choked at the free throw line.
But that would be to your point. Like Miami shouldn't have beat Milwaukee.
Miami shouldn't have done
it. They shouldn't have beat us.
You were like, they were the 1 seed the year before. That team was not a good team.
If Jason Tatum doesn't sprain his ankle 20 seconds into Game 7, they might not beat Boston. So, I mean, like, I don't want to, because that was one of the greatest runs we will see in NBA playoff history. But there was a lot of help that went into that. There was a lot of stars. They also
almost blew a fucking 3-0 lead.
Like the stars were aligned for them last year. So
it was the Cinderella story that you see in March Madness every year.
Like what I'm saying, Anthony, don't let last year fool you, because the planets will have to be unbelievably aligned again this year, and
divine intervention.
It's not going to happen.
It's not the same team
because they pissed all those 3 teams that I just mentioned. All are begging to play Miami again.
Yes.
The Knicks would love to play Miami again. Milwaukee would love. You think Giannis don't want to see them again? And you know, and we know the rivalry with Boston and Miami, so you know Boston wants to smoke. So, like, be honest with you, they don't want to see any of those 3 teams.
They would have no choice. They're going to see one of them.
You're making my point for me, Anthony. Like, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. They better hope they run into Cleveland.
They're not running into Cleveland.
And I don't.
Cleveland has a day with Indiana right now.
Well, listen,
they beat Cleveland.
They're only 2 games behind Indiana.
Yeah, I need Indiana to get it together. I'm not like.
What the fuck happened to Tyrese Halliburton?
Well, that team's been hit with a lot of injuries. I'm literally looking at it right now on the TV screen. I mean, yeah, Dylan, your Nets are done.
I know.
They're done.
I know.
The Pacers, Sixers, and Heat all have the same amount of losses.
Sixers. I don't think the Sixers like this. I think the Sixers might not make the playoffs.
No, they're 10 games ahead of you.
No. I'm not saying we're gonna make it.
You mean the playoffs or play in?
The playoffs. I think they can make the play-in, but
they're gonna make the play. They're gonna.
I think they may also lose in the play-in.
I think they may also lose in the play-in.
No, because
they're really bad.
Whoever gets Atlanta is gonna kill Atlanta. So
you think Sixers gonna beat Atlanta?
And it wouldn't be Philly.
Atlanta stinks.
We beat Atlanta.
Atlanta stinks.
We're only 3 games behind Atlanta, so
4 in the loss column.
Yeah, but 3
the Bulls, but like Dylan, like this is locked up. Like the Sixers are 5 ahead in the loss column over Chicago. Like they're not catching them.
Yeah, but
they're not.
It all kind of means wins. If Chicago wins some games, they got
to not lose. They got to not lose. That's
Philly keeps losing. If Philly keeps scoring 79 points in games, they're not going to win a lot of basketball games.
They're not going to play the Knicks every night, are they?
Listen, they look like they barely play to begin with. They lost again tonight.
Not going to play them Knicks every night. Get the clamps put on you. Come to New York. Come to Gotham. Get the clamps put on you.
Listen, they'll beat the Hornets, maybe. Probably won't beat the Heat. Not beating the Suns. Not beating the Lakers. Oh, they have a nasty West Coast trip coming up where they got to face Suns, Lakers, Clippers, Kings, Clippers.
So for us, the viewer, to consume the product, what would be a better first round matchup? Knicks Magic, Knicks Pacers, Magic Pacers, or Cleveland Magic or Cleveland Pacers?
Knicks Pacers.
Knicks Pacers. Give me the fucking Pacers. I can't.
That would
fucking
be
hate the Pacers.
I mean, that would be a fun TV matchup.
That'd be a fun series. That series could.
I would love to get rid of the Pacers.
That'd be a fun TV matchup.
That could go 7. That's a great matchup.
So you would take
love to get rid of.
So because of that, then you would get Cleveland Orlando, and I don't like that series at all.
I do. Well, as a basketball fan, I like it.
That's a boring series.
Again, as a viewer,
honestly, I don't think that's that boring.
Not a lot of people watching that series.
Not a lot of people. That's it. That's got NBA TV written all over it.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's gonna all the games will be NBA.
That has me written all over it because I think that'll be great.
That's got NBA
but
TV.
But if I can get Knicks Pacers, the Cavs and Magic, they can battle it out.
Oh, Adam Silver's definitely hoping for Knicks Pacers. That's
because that's gonna be such a fun series.
Because you have the Knicks and then you have the Pacers who are in the finals of the in-season tournament. So that they'll and there's a rivalry there. Like that's nostalgia. Like Knicks Pacers would be fun.
I know we
see that crazy like potential Julius Randle Pascal Siakam battle where Julius Randle in the playoffs really doesn't like play great. So let's see his redemption. It's true. You wanted to trade him because of it. So stop. I'm just speaking facts here. But like if you get that narrative of Julius Randle like showing up.
Would you rather get Celtics Sixers or Celtics Heat?
I don't want to see Sixers in the playoffs. I really don't want to see the Sixers in the playoffs.
I don't. No matter who Boston plays, I kind of don't care.
What about the Bucks?
Even if they play the Heat?
Yeah, I don't care.
I would rather see Celtics Heat.
Yeah, like if I have to pick.
Can you really say you don't care?
I don't care.
Give me Celtics Heat and give me Bucks.
Boston is so much better than them. Like I don't care to watch those series.
Give me Milwaukee.
I'm pretty sure people said that last year.
Give me Milwaukee, Philly with a healthy Embiid.
Well, the problem with Boston last year was their fucking coaching. It was fucking ridiculous last year how stupid Missoula was. We're mid playoffs. I was like, they need to fire him.
And by the way, the Knicks are only 3 behind in the loss column out of the 2 seed. Just so you know.
Okay.
So you know.
Yeah, but then we have these really.
But you're also 5 behind in the win column. So like
we still have to play these games, Dylan.
You have to win them.
Column is what
I don't care about the loss column. The win column is what matters.
No, the loss column is
the win column matters.
You can always control your own destiny with the wins. The loss column is what you can't overcome. The loss.
We're not getting into this. We're not getting into this. I'll drag you in the fucking mud.
No, your Nets are out of it. How about that?
I don't care. We stink. Jock Vaughn ruined this fucking season.
Making me look bad. Pick them to make the play and can't even.
Don't worry. I also didn't think Jock Vaughn was going to be fucking stupid. Put the entire keys to the organization in Ben Simmons' fucking hands, who can't stay healthy, and then not know what the fuck to do afterwards. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing, bro? Like, as much as I like Ben Simmons, I would tell you that's a bad idea to put all of your eggs in the Ben Simmons basket. With no backup plan. Fucking loser.
Stinking up the joint.
Fucking loser. Terrible. Breaking news. Wizards are now worse than the Pistons.
Love it. Love it here. Love it here.
Don't be that team.
I love it.
You don't want to be that team.
Right? Nets be Jordan Poole.
Bang, bang, bang.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
This was real chatty patty when the Pistons was losing.
Listen,
Real
Pistons
chatty
are
patty.
still one of the worst basketball teams I've ever seen. That
They're
doesn't
not.
change anything.
They're not.
The Wizards are also one of the worst
The
basketball
Wizards
teams.
are one
Pistons
of the
have
worst
been-
basketball teams.
The Pistons, they've been on a hot streak. They've been 4-6 in their last 10 games. So the
They have
Pistons
12
been playing
wins.
pretty well.
They have 12
I
wins.
know.
They have 12 wins.
Like I said, they've been 4-6 in their last 10 games. All right.
They win a game every 3 games. The Wizards are one of the worst basketball teams I've ever seen because they just Jordan Poole tries to take jump shots from his ass. He's sitting on the floor debating whether he should take a jump shot while he's sitting in live basketball games. I hope they finish with the worst record in basketball.
I do too.
Because Kyle Kuzma was a fucking asshole.
I want that for them. You want to talk about lack of culture? There it is. I want that for them.
Who's the Wizards coach?
Who cares? I want that for them. All right, you look that up. Tell us who it is.
Wes Unseld Jr.
He's still a coach? I thought they fired him.
I thought they fired him too. Oh no, the Rockets fired him.
Oh.
So why the Wizards hire him?
Culture.
Coaches hire
What coaches?
fire everybody.
Culture.
Oh, he was a Denver Nuggets assistant. Right.
I mean, he's got a famous name. So, a famous daddy.
No, he's been the coach the last 3 years. I'll fire him. Why does he have a job?
The day after the season's over, fire him.
Fire him now. Who cares?
You
Does it
do that
matter?
too. No, it does not.
You have 11 wins.
I mean,
But it doesn't make sense to fire him and have an interim coach for 2
Yeah, you want to play off the rest of the season, you know.
No, you don't.
It makes no difference.
At some point, the organization has to be like, I'm sick of it. Nets said to Jacques Vaughn, we're like, all right, we're sick of this.
Yeah, but
But
nothing's going to change in the last 16 games. Like,
And that's still, if Kevin Ollie would have gotten these guys going, could have still snuck into the play-ins.
The Nets can
still sneak. They can still get into the plan.
So that's why there's no hope. for
Kevin
Washington.
Ollie's figuring out how to play with this group. The problem is they weren't playing us this way the entire season. You have to make them all play different than how they were.
I mean, listen, Mike. I mean, as mid as I think the Nets are, if they get into the plan, I can see them beating the Bulls or the Hawks.
The Bulls are.
But I can see them beating the Hawks or the Hawks.
Well, we beat the Hawks every time we play them. That team
I
is
can see
for
them-
sure.
The Hawks stink. That's why.
That team is for sure worse.
The Bulls
than
aren't that much better than the Nets, in my opinion, honestly.
They're not.
But they're better.
Yes, Vucevic is a notorious net killer, so like if we had to play the Bulls, we're losing. He's been killing the Nets his entire career. So he's too big. He's too big. He stretches the floor. Like he'd ruin us. And then somebody will just quit.
All right, let's talk about this women's college basketball so we can get on out of here. We've run long. We've got 3 minutes left in the show, Dylan. You have the clip. You don't even have.
I don't have the clip.
Terrible.
Shout out to my baby
Hey, what's
Sabrina for
happening
getting
out
married.
Sabrina, really?
Sabrina Ionescu got married today. Yeah.
No, I know. I it took me a second because I didn't know Anthony was like.
Yeah, I don't know. She got a long face, so you can have that, Anthony.
You think you're got a long thing? Nah, I didn't think she was that cute until I saw that picture. And I was like, okay.
No, she cleans up well. Still got a long face.
She definitely does clean up well.
All right, SEC championship, South Carolina, LSU, which was a very good game.
And this is what everybody was talking about. Oof.
And then you're gonna see right there, that is her brother jumping onto the court, and then he instantly realizes that she's 6'8", that she's 6'8", and he instantly was like, "Oh, never mind."
Was it from Deuce Bigalow? That's a huge bitch.
Never mind.
Now, did they show the LSU bench where Angel Reese got up and just walked towards the locker room when this was going on?
is Twitter at its finest because literally, Steven, on this play, she rolled her ankle. Literally on this play, she rolled her ankle and was walking to the bench, and then all of a sudden, this happened.
Is that before or after she grabbed Homegirl by the hair in the box out?
Before.
Look,
Listen, this was
where she low key started it.
I was watching this game.
you got little ass HVL trying to go at that tall ass girl. Where Angel Reese? I'm going to the locker room.
Haley Van Lith.
I was watching this game from start to finish because I am very much into women's college basketball, and I was very excited for this game because their first game was a classic, and LSU, the refs didn't help, but LSU kind of shot themselves in the foot. So I was very interested to see how this game was going to go, and just like I thought, as soon as the game started, these girls were chirping at each other. As soon as it started, two possessions in,
football game.
2 possessions in this game, they was chirping. Angel Reese is yelling at her, "I'm here today." I like 2 possessions in. So
Dawn Staley got that dog in all her teams.
She does. Dawn has those girls coached like a machine, and they are all really good. And I thought LSU was going to have to play perfect, and given the analysis, LSU can't beat them unless they play perfect because LSU doesn't have the bench to play with them. So that's what happened. That is exactly what was happening when this happened. South Carolina would go up big, then LSU starters would drag them, claw their way back, and then South Carolina would sub out and go back up big, and then LSU would have to claw back. That happened with 2 minutes left in the game after LSU had clawed to the game within 4, and then South Carolina went on a run and just got a big steal and a basket because those LSU girls were exhausted. And that was a frustration. South Carolina was talking. South Carolina, you could feel it. The game was almost over, and South Carolina was talking. And that was a frustration. Get out of my face. Don't touch me. And then if you bring that back, you can watch Dawn Staley calling because she wanted the technical because she knew that her play, they had just goaded her into that reaction. And then the shock on Dawn Staley's face when she dropped her is just priceless to me because I was watching it live and couldn't believe I just saw that because you rarely see that in women's college sports. Just keep gotta go a little further back. Just keep your eye on Dawn Staley the entire time. Watch. Wow. Now watch Dawn. Give me the X. Oh. And just so what was a great game because then this took 20 minutes to fix.
To calm down and get everybody back.
I was live tweeting. I was in the chat telling you guys I've never seen this before because in college basketball, if you leave the bench, you're ejected.
Yep.
And as you can see, everybody left the bench. Everybody left the bench. They ended up ejecting every single girl on LSU and every single girl on South Carolina except for one, except for the 5 that were on the floor at the time. So it was just madness. And the final 2 minutes, unfortunately, the game was over. So that final 2 minutes, it was just a formality. South Carolina was up too much for a 2-minute sprint. But Dawn Staley apologizing after the game, showing class and just
fuck Kim Mulkey.
Kim Mulkey, let me let you guys who are watching and listening to this know this. Kim Mulkey is not a nice woman at all. I know for a lot of people, they were introduced to her last year with the Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark.
Nana.
She has a history.
Baylor Kim Mulkey.
She is not a nice woman. And it kills me. This exact example is why it's so hard for me to root for LSU because I want to, because I like Angel Reese. I like the girls on that team. She is not a nice lady. She has a history of Dylan, what's the name of that lady that cooks everything in the South?
Paula Dean?
She very much gives me Paula Dean vibes, and you can guess what I mean by that. She's very much scares me. She has that. No, not just cooking the chicken. Not just cooking the chicken.
Throwing around that goddamn N-word from here and there.
She looks like she says it a lot. Looks like she says it a lot.
Kim Mulkey is famous for saying she's not going to wear a mask or like wipe anything down during an interview this year because she's not a sissy. It's not. I could have COVID. I don't. Who cares? I'm not getting tested. Has some doesn't care for gay people and like refused to like support gay people when her team in Baylor had a few lesbians on their team. Refused to support gay rights.
She refused to support Brittany Griner whatsoever.
Yep.
To the point that her and Brittany Griner don't talk to this day.
And Brittany Griner is like the reason for a lot of her success. So she's just not great. And then to say he's like, oh, I wish she would have pushed Angel Reese instead. Like, what? Why? Why? You got Dawn Staley who's sitting there like, hey, this is stand on basketball. We need to be better. Like, we can't allow that to happen. When Kim Mulkey is just like, I wish that bitch would push this one. She'll fight back.
That's basically what she said. It's basically what she said. And like, there's so much deep-seated. I'm not going to get too deep with it, but like, what are you insinuating about Angel Reese? Like, I just don't. Nothing about it. Just I really don't like that woman. I can't wait till her and her ugly jackets and blazers goes away somewhere.
She's very much her. She is very much so in the Dabo Swinney. Hey, look at me type of coach.
Yes.
Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Look at me. She doesn't care about Dawn Staley's comment was because Dawn is trying to uplift the sport of women's basketball. Kim cares about Kim. That's what she cares about. So, but regardless, South Carolina's going to win the whole thing, so it doesn't matter. Anthony's going to be mad when he sees Caitlin Clark losing the Elite Eight, but it happens. That's what's going to happen. I'm giving you a spoiler right now, Anthony. They're going to lose in the Elite Eight. They're not going to make the Final Four.
Whatever you say.
That team's not good. Caitlin Clark said that Iowa team isn't very good.
They're not really
not for
good.
the tournament.
They have one other shooter on that team. That's it. And they're not a very big team. So just give it time, Anthony.
These SEC teams are screwed.
Just give it time, Anthony. Just give it time. They're gonna run into it. They're gonna lose. They're gonna lose unless the committee just gives them the perfect bracket to.
Well, they're gonna be a 1 seed.
I know.
So.
They'll be a 1 seed. Doesn't matter. Because they're not going to beat UConn. They're not going to beat Tennessee. They're not going to beat South Carolina. They're not going to beat LSU. They're not going to beat Stanford. They're not going to beat USC. Like, they're not going to beat any of those teams.
They could beat USC.
Who's guarding Juju on that team?
No, like it's a team sport at the end of the day, right? Like they could. USC is the one team they can beat, but I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't.
Yeah, okay. All right.
But they have a chance in that game.
They're not beating them other teams, I said.
No.
Not beating any other team I just said.
No. Anthony won't watch anyway. He's a fake Caitlin Clark fan.
He didn't even know that they won the Big Ten championship. He didn't even know. I purposely did you? Because I didn't hear. Because I was purposely waiting
Anthony,
for you
they
to
play?
say something.
What? I don't remember who they play. I just saw the picture.
He doesn't even know anybody else in the Big Ten.
I just didn't like the fact that Dylan was being a fraud and not being consistent about posting accomplishments. All right,
I don't post
because when you
don't come to me.
Well, you had you had a voice in there.
I don't do that shit.
Yes, you do, Dylan. Take
I don't post that. No.
Take accountability, Dylan. It's all on
No,
you.
the guy you want to talk to is the one above you. The one who's really trying to pass blame right now. I don't do that shit. You want to talk with Michael.
Take accountability, Dylan. Goodness.
We're gonna acknowledge LeBron. We gotta acknowledge Caitlin Clark too. That's all I'm saying.
You don't. You're a fake women's sports fan, so it doesn't matter. I believe
But
Anthony
Caitlin
said to me
Clark-
one time in the chat that women belong in the kitchen.
I definitely did not say that.
Yeah, he said something along the lines of like women are inferior. I don't know.
Bang, bang, bang.
Shit like that.
I love women way too much. A little too much, but
We know that too. All right, we can move on. We can wrap this up. Dylan, do you want to talk about the 4 Gatorades you owe me, or you don't?
Yeah, that's not a good card.
Talk about
Not
the
a
4
good card.
Gatorades?
Nah. I have
for
not,
Gatorade. What the
I
fuck?
have not had a UFC card this bad in a long time where I was wrong about. I would have won.
He was wrong on everything.
I was wrong on everything. Everything. Well, it's all,
God damn.
half of it happened on freak shit. Half of it happened on shit where it's just like, what the fuck?
He
Like
lost.
Curtis Blades just after getting just ragdolled the entire first round, just sits there, hits homeboy a couple times in the back of the head, and then
Side of the head.
ended it not back of the head. And then just dies. I was like, well, all right, fine. What's his face?
That won me a Gatorade. That fight
that
right
one-
there won me a Gatorade.
That fight won him a Gatorade. Gilbert Burns
Gil.
was beating the dog shit out of this guy the whole fight. The whole fight. In the round 3, like a minute left in round 3, a minute left in the fight. He takes a knee to the face.
What a knee.
And
What
he exploded. And I'm just like, fuck.
I was sitting here. Oh no, Gil. Oh no.
He was
Oh
he
no.
was beating the dog shit out of this guy. The dog shit out of him.
Oh.
Just that happened. I'm like, there's no fucking way that just happened. And that lost me the whole fight card. That right there lost me the whole fight card because we only had one more fight.
Yep. Once Gil lost, I was like, I didn't even realize it until a little later in the night because I was like, oh, wait a minute. When MVP fought, because Dylan just knew that MVP was going to lose.
Listen, I didn't think Homeboy was going to just sit there and not fight him.
I told you what was going to happen. Kevin Holland
He
stands on
decided to
business.
not fight him.
No, you can't. It's hard to fight somebody like him. He's a snake charmer. You are going to just
possible,
get
though.
mesmerized.
He figured out ways to get inside. The problem is he didn't capitalize getting inside. And
every time he tried to get
say
inside,
what you
he
want
got
about his
popped.
wrestling defense. He's really not that great wrestling defense. Like, he does enough because he's not fighting high-level wrestlers. But if you fight guys who could get inside and get taken down, Kevin Holland couldn't keep him down.
He got right back up.
He had his back.
stunned.
He had MVP's
stunned.
back.
I thought the fight was over. I was like, oh shit.
And then he just stood up like nothing. That just shows how not great Kevin Holland is.
Oh,
So it's
don't
like-
do that. Give MVP some credit. He fought.
No, I'm about to give MVP his credit, but like that fight, Kevin Holland was getting mad that MVP kept bouncing, and it's just like, do something about it. Like, you know what's gonna happen? Kevin Holland's gonna step in and he's gonna jump, leap, take the right straight. I know that. I've watched a lot of MVP in my life here. I know what he's gonna do. You should also know what you're gonna do because it's your job.
It's easier said than done. I heard him say in the corner, he's faster than I thought he was.
And that just means you're unprepared. That's what is that not?
You can't train for speed.
Yes, you can.
No, you
Yes, you
won't
can.
know how fast somebody is until you're in there with them.
You can pick that shit up though,
Not if
because
he's
you
fa- if
got
he's
somebody
faster
sitting there
than
just
you
bouncing
thought
back
he
and forth,
was.
doing all that.
He
That
couldn't find.
person's
He
not
couldn't.
MVP.
He couldn't find MVP that whole. He could not find.
You know
it.
who you could have had fight in your camp?
Oh,
Wonder Boy.
that's a fight I would like to see.
No, that fight would be terrible
Well, they're two counterpunchers, so
because they're the same fighter. You
when
can't
two
have them fight.
counterpunchers fight each other, it's not a
Even
good
MVP
fight.
doesn't want that fight because that fight would suck. There would be 10 punches thrown.
But still, MVP for the dub. It's all that matters.
I have never had a bad However, Sean O'Malley beat the dog shit out of Cheeto Vera.
He did. I'm glad
Walked
I
him
walked.
like a dog.
I'm glad I got out of that one. I almost picked the upset, but I got out of there.
It wouldn't matter.
Got out of there.
It would just mean I would have got a win. I would have gotten a single win on the card. So a fight night was a failure.
For you, it was a massive success. Four more fruit punch red Gatorades.
Don't worry, I'm about to finesse the Gatorades that Anthony owes me and just swing pack and then a Gatorade a month for 2 months. 2 months. So I'll just have to send him to you.
Well, don't worry, you still got 300, which is another chance because it's like the whole card we're gonna have to pick fights on. So
yeah,
including the prelims again, like. So you can redeem.
Yeah, Joe, I can't send Mike that much Gatorade. You better start winning some of these bets.
I'm trying.
The nectar of the
I'm trying. I'm not picking losers on purpose. 2 of my losers lost on bullshit. So it's like, come on. Like, I'm really mad about the Gilbert Burns one. The Curtis Blades one, whatever. The Gilbert Burns one, I'm just like, that's fucking ridiculous. He went head down, just like, I'm going to go for the takedown. The guy went, heh.
I saw his highlight reel. That's all I needed to see. That's all I needed to see, Anthony. That's all I need.
And also, Curtis Blades get the dog shit kicked out of him by John Jones.
Man.
I watched that small Brazilian man throw Curtis Blades around. John will beat the dog shit out of him.
I was surprised he got taken down. So
he lifted a 6'5", 265-pound man.
John's not doing that though. John's not doing that. John is going to try and clinch and trip and drag him down. John is not going to pick him up and put him down.
I watched.
You know that, and I know that. 6'5",
265, get lifted off of his 2 feet.
Yeah, that was an impressive.
And then go to grab the top of the cage.
Yeah, he did.
He was scared.
But John Jones ain't going to do that because John Jones don't fight like
that. John
don't fight like that, so
he'll do it.
I ain't worried about
John's
that. I'm him. Who's ready? Who's up? Who's ready for I'm him?
I am.
Dylan, I'm him. Before you go, not to be rude, but just make sure everybody hit that like, share, and subscribe button, that notification button, so you can know when we go live. We haven't been live in a while, but it's coming, I promise you, because sports is about to get crazy for us. So the live shows are coming on Instagram, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, wherever you get your podcasts, we're there. YouTube for the video version. Go ahead, Dylan. I'm
him, former UFC champ and UFC legend Mark Coleman. Mark Coleman, over the last couple days, saw his parents' house burning on fire, ran in there, saved his parents, and then went back to go get the dog, and then went unconscious and was in a coma for it. And he awoke today and was in great spirits, laughing and talked about how he was just happy he was able to save his parents' life. So shout out to Mark Coleman. That's some badass shit.
It was.
He said, and I quote, "I'm the happiest man in the world."
That's what's up, Anthony.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Mark Coleman.
Steven, Anthony.
Well, this is an easy one for me. I'm him goes to Kirk Cousins' agent. Is that man? The way he be getting Cousins the bag, that shit needs to be studied, man. That dude will go down in the history books for ages, man. Like, shout out to him.
His name is Mike McCartney.
Mike McCartney. There we go.
Put some respect on that man.
1 win in 12 years.
My I am him is R.I.P. Akira Toriyama, the godfather of anime, influenced the world. R.I.P. Akira Toriyama, one of the greatest minds in anime history.
Fiction history.
Anime fiction history.
No, he means
fiction as a whole. Fiction as a whole.
As a whole.
Fiction as a whole. In the
whole other countries worshiping him. Well,
R.I.P. to GOAT.
We throw that goat around
All
word a
right,
lot.
here to go.
That's the goat.
That is the go right there.
they needed him. He crawls so everybody else, all your One Pieces can walk.
Ichiro Oda, Tite Kubo,
But
fucking
Chrono Trigger, which
Dragon Quest.
people that played video games their whole life say Chrono Trigger is the best game.
Chrono Trigger is one of the greatest games I've ever played. And he was the lead character designer or lead art designer for that game as well.
Dr. Slump.
So, shout out to Akira Toriyama.
Oh, this goes
Rest
on
in
and
peace.
on. My I'm him is gonna go to none other than Kirk Cousins' agent. I was
You gotta give it to her.
I was thinking about giving it to Derrick Henry just for all his great time with the Titans, but
His great suit.
It was a nice suit, you troll. It was a nice suit, but getting Kirk Cousins at 36, a 4-year contract to play until he's 40 for $100 million
Achilles team.
off of the Achilles tail, it's God's work right there. It's God's work.
$100 million guaranteed.
So shout out to him. Shout out to Mercedes Monet,
Had her debut.
CEO.
All elite.
CEO.
It's also
yeah.
dumb that she has a chant in her song. That's so stupid. Yes, it's stupid.
Because Seth doesn't have a chant in his song.
That's singing.
Cody
that's
doesn't
singing.
have one in his song.
That's singing. They literally have a CEO chant. Like that's different.
Tell
Is
the
it not?
fans to chant it.
Like you have it, so now that gives you the fake sense of people are really cheering when they have like empty arenas.
But they were chanting it though.
They were, so like it heightened it, so it seemed louder than it really was. But when you do that on Collision and there's like 40 people in the crowd, that's disingenuous.
Also, I don't know if we did this, but shout out to Sting too. Sting can be my Iron Man.
Shout out to Sting. I think we did that.
I think we did.
Shout out to Steve Borden.
Who cares? Do it again.
Shout out to Sting.
All right.
We did Akira Toriyama last week. We'll do it again this week too. So.
Exactly. Who
Shout out
cares?
to Akira Toriyama.
Do it every week. It doesn't matter. There's no time. No time.
I'll give a 10-minute soliloquy on Akira Toriyama again.
Right, we do this every week. Who cares?
All that before we go. It's a great suit.
That is a great, Mike. I'm sorry, that's a great suit.
And
that is a
the Gator here on the shoe is good too. It's a hard picture. It's a great suit.
Doesn't matter. Shout out to the Knicks. We on our way, baby. Join us next week. I think Selection Sunday is this Sunday, and the tournament starts next Thursday. So when we come back, we'll have those brackets in, Anthony. Well, actually, no, Anthony, I'm not yelling at you. It's Roz.
Anthony was in. It's Roz.
It's Roz that we need to yell at because.
And you, because you keep claiming
you only
get one bracket, so don't put both in.
Nope, we're going to contract negotiations as soon as this show.
You're not getting two brackets.
Nonsense.
Then I get two brackets.
That's fine.
Two brackets?
No, that's dumb. Everybody gets one.
It's fine.
One bracket, man. One bracket.
ESPN
you're about to get outvoted.
ESPN literally lets you make 20 brackets.
Great, and ESPN's fucking stupid. We're majority
the
rules.
worldwide leader. No, people make multiple brackets all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back next week. We'll be back. March Madness will have started. You know the rules. Whoever's in last place will be spinning that wheel. Only a couple weeks left in the NBA season, so since Dylan is dragging this out, Dylan will be spinning soon. But yeah, from us to you, Dylan, what are you doing?
I need you to wait a second because we need.
We need to.
You said when he spun the wheel and it ended on Dylan's choice.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And
I
Dylan's
chose
TikTok challenge.
TikTok dance.
Oh my god. Jesus
I would
Christ.
like to show you what you're going to be doing.
Oh boy.
Can't wait. And we're going to use the special layout for this one. So let me know when you're. We're going to use.
I'm a savage, yeah. Classy, bougie, ratchet, yeah. Sassy, moody, nasty, yeah. Acting stupid, what's happening? What's happening? I'm a savage, yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to see Anthony do that. That will be up on our Instagram
You're gonna
page.
make him do the Prince Nana.
That
would be fun.
That would have been fun.
You would like that one.
That would have been fun. But no, so you will see Anthony doing that dance.
Anthony is hurt
on our Instagram page as he acknowledges Queen Bee and does her dance because Taylor Swift don't got no dances. So stay tuned because we will hold him to this and you will see that. So
look at him, he is hurt. He is hurt.
Can I eat that gummy again?
Absolutely not.